How are we doing tonight, Skywatchers? So if you're just joining us, we are doing our live UFO UAP Skywatch tonight, coming to you live from Wiltshire here in the UK, right in the heart of Crop Circle country and just down the road from Stone Henge. So a long history of strange things in these night skies. Tonight will be no exception. It's going to be really clear. We've got a couple of clouds there at the second, but they are moving, and as you can see, the tracker is still able to identify the movement. So yeah, it's going to be a wonderfully clear one once that cloud passes. But when the blue goes, that last bit of daylight, we're going to see so many stars and all of those objects there. Jeff Rowe is in nice and early there. Inspector Morse too. How are you guys doing today? Carl is in there over on the tubes. And Scenario, thank you for the likes there, guys. It's the likes, the shares, the tapping away, all of that jazz that helps us all piece this puzzle together. You never know who's going to come in and what experience they're going to share there. Carl as well, coming in with the gifts. Thank you for that. It all goes back into the stream. But tonight, yes, it is UFO sky watching time. We're just waiting for it to get fully dark, but we can see some stars, we can see some objects. But in about 15 minutes time, that is going to be really dark or really clear, and we're going to see so many things up there tonight. So do let us know what you spot. Put the grid reference in the chat, in the chat, then you know the number and the letter, and therefore the mods can press the old interactive grid button and highlight those squares so we can take a closer look there. How are we doing, Lethal? And Gandalf is in. Good to see everybody coming in. So we're on slightly earlier, maybe a touch too early. Maybe a bit ambitious, I'm not sure. We can still see a few stars though, but it won't take long, I said, before that night sky gets fully dark and those clouds sod off. They are due to move, but we are still getting some tracking. Now, I'm glad to hear it, Lethal, there as well. And Amanda, how are you doing?
Zoom mode activated.
Zoom in on this one here. Oh, God, let me zoom back out actually, because that was a little bit too close there. What is going on? There's a bit of lag with that. We're going to see lots of objects like this in the night sky tonight. We need to see them stop dead, shoot off at speed, change their course or trajectory for us to know for sure that they are something anomalous. Man-made objects are falling to Earth in a big circle, and therefore if they do anything strange, they stop dead, change their course or trajectory, anything like that, it tells us to say that they are a little bit stranger indeed. That defies what those objects are able to do. Every now and again you're going to see one like this. It might go red before it goes off of the screen there, and that is the tracker thinking it's done something strange, but really it's got the alignment off. As you can see there, it was going off at a slight angle. But in theory, it is meant to let us know if there is anything anomalous going on with those objects there. And how are we doing, Sir Paul? Good to see you in. How is your week going? But yeah, it's going to be, we've got a few clouds, but it is meant to be clear this the next half an hour or so. They're moving ever so slowly, so they will eventually get out of our way, and that blue is going to disappear. That's going to become a nice dark night sky. Lots and lots more stars as that starts to go. That faint light from those stars is going to be able to poke through a little bit more, as we're starting to see now more colours from those stars and more moving objects there. And Paul, thank you as always for gifting the membership there. Do appreciate that, and it all goes back into the stream. And for that means that Sean, you got that one there. Do thank Paul for that. But you can join us. It'll be Thursday evening for our next deep dive there. Paul Jones as well, how are you doing? Evening, a time for the screening, just in time there. Get your popcorn ready there, Paul. And where did we get to? Mr. Strange, have you noticed a lot more lights in the sky there? I had a bizarre incident the other night at home. Or tell us more, Mr. Strange. Whereabouts, where in the world roughly is it? And tell us more about the incident. I haven't noticed particularly anymore for us doing the Skywatch. Now, I think there are generally more objects up there. They're putting a lot of satellites up there, but for us, I think it's been roughly even. But generally in the community, there does seem to be a lot more activity, a lot more sightings, a lot more experiences being shared. And is that a product that we are now so much more connected that we can just share more of the things that were always going on, or is it ramping up? It kind of feels like it is there. And Rio is in. We're all good over here. How are you doing, Rio? And Joseph, anything new? We've had a few anomalies, but yeah, nothing new there. Dara and Carl coming in with the gifts and feeding Alan. Thank you, Carl.
Guys.
I appreciate those guys. All goes back into the stream. As you're joining, do say hello and let us know where you're all watching from tonight there. If you've got any questions, ask away. No silly questions here at all. And thank you, Captain, there. Very generous for the star map there. Very much appreciated. How are you doing? Good to see you there. So yeah, do say hello. Let us all know where you're watching from and ask away any questions. If you've had an experience there, like Mr. Strange, do tell us more. We want to hear about all of your experiences. That is the one thing that has changed my understanding of what might be going on the absolute most, is hearing all of your individual accounts there, just how many and the wide range of them there. So I do love to hear them all. And Lethal there, thank you for the gifts too. We're all good, Rio. A bit warm. It's not cooled down enough for me. I can't get a decent night's sleep. It's doing me in. And Rio coming in with the likes, because it is the likes and shares, the tapping away, guys, all that stuff that helps us reach more and more like-minded people there like yourselves, and the more open-minded, intelligent people we can get looking at the phenomena, sharing their experiences, the more we can all piece this puzzle together. And good evening, Captain Blue Nose. And I had what looked like a satellite flying over at speed. They stopped mid-flight, flash a bright green light at me there in Liverpool-ish area. Now that is very, very anomalous. So if you're confident that it is at that sort of altitude, and I would assume so, because your first thought was satellite there, that is strange. They can't do that. You know, they're falling to Earth in a bigger circle. It takes a lot of energy for them to stop dead. So they just are not really capable of doing that. It's a very strange, and the colour change as well is very interesting there. Is that the first sort of anomalous sighting you've had, or is it one of a few? People that are open to these things obviously do seem to have more experiences, just probably because they are more aware. The other people probably have all these other experiences. They just don't register as anomalous. Here, there, everywhere, X, how are you doing? And did you check out the... Oh, you know what? I was going to last night, Lethal, and I couldn't remember the name of the top of my head. So let me write that one down now. It was Labs 360, wasn't it? I was like, oh, there was that channel, and then I totally forgot. Hold on. Write that one down. I knew it was 360, but I couldn't get the first part. I'll try to UFO. There we go. Right. Thank you, therefore, the reminder. And it's very good. I'll let you know tomorrow. I should get a chance to that one. Gaza is in. How are you doing? So, guys, we've got some movement. The tracker is kicking in, and it is tracking despite that little bit of cloud. But that is due to pass. In fact, it looks like on the edge that it is getting fainter and fainter. If I turn up the brightness a touch, we're going to be able to see. Yeah, I think it is thinning out now. And as that blue goes and the night gets darker, the cloud sods off, and we're going to see so many awesome things. The ISS will fly over Spain tonight there, so it probably won't be. It's a bit low, isn't it, Lilac? The second passing. I've actually got it on my thing here. So I think we missed the closer passing. It's about 10 some. No, actually, we're on earlier. So let's have a look. The ISS is due to pass in 13 minutes. And that is north-northwest, yeah, coming over. So we might, if I spin the camera around, we might be able to catch that one. The second passing, we probably won't be able to catch. So we're on earlier, so we actually have a chance of seeing it there. How you doing, Dan, as well? Good to see you in. Where are we? Down here. And I videoed it, and it's on my profile there. Have a butcher's at it. I would like to hear your thought. Oh, Mr. Strange, I'd love to have a look. I will totally forget, though, by the time I come off of stream. So the best way to do it is to tag me in something, and then I'll get the messages, the reminders to do it. But yeah, I'd love to have a look at that. Hopefully I will remember there. Thank you for sharing it. That is literally my favourite part. That is the thing that has changed my understanding the most in doing this. It's not the sightings that we've seen, although they are cool. It is hearing all of your accounts, just how many and how often and the range of them. The community just teared up there. Well done, Agent X, and thank you for the gifts. Appreciate those. But guys, yes, it's UFO, UAP, sky watching time, and the night is gonna get clearer. We're just waiting for this cloud to pass there, and we're waiting for the blue, the last bit of daylight to go, and then it's going to be really clear. But we are starting to pick up some moving objects. This one is having a little bit of a sulk in tracking it, so it did try. But we need to see these objects up there stop dead, shoot off at speed, change their course or trajectory. That tells us for sure that it is something a little bit stranger. Maybe I'll turn the sensitivity down a bit, see if we can pick it up then. Let's have a look. No, that's not enough for it. But we'll see there. And K-Dibs, how are you there? Where are we? Down here. And I've never seen the ISS pass over here in Aberdeen there, so it'd be ace to see it. Right, I'll pull my finger out. I'll see if Leanne is up for taking over for a few minutes when that one comes by. See if we can run down and grab it. We did do it the other night. We've done it a couple recently. Oh, and 3:49. It's a bit late for us though. The Starlink's passing over there. If I'm awake, I record it. It is always impressive to see. And my opinion, thank you for the gifts too. There, as it Stuman is in as well over there on the tubes. Guys, do say hello and let us know where you're all watching from tonight, and ask away any questions. There's no silly questions at all. We want to hear from you all, where you're watching from. And again, if you're curious about anything there, we're just waiting, as I said, for that cloud to set off and it to get fully dark so we can fully see everything. But we can still see some things. If my cursor would happen, look, we're getting one tracked down here, and it's a little bit too sensitive at the second. So let me just turn up some of the settings there. Hopefully that will improve it. Let's have a quick zoom in.
Zoom mode activated.
Let's zoom in on these stars in the middle. I just want to see how jumpy they are tonight. They're a little bit jumpy. We're just having some atmospheric haze. It's been lovely and clear, but it was giving us a little bit of a wiggle, wasn't it? So we need to adjust the settings. Lee is in Gillingham. I love a little bit of Gillingham. Got some friends that way. How are the skies over there tonight at the minute? It's only it's the only passing in ISS, is it there? So we got one. I think there's one due in 106 minutes as well, but I don't think we'll catch that one on the stream. It's very, very low. And honestly, some of these are absolutely stunning, isn't it, to see in the night sky. This is not very clear at the moment, but I said this cloud is due to go away, so it should sort itself out not too long, just in time for it to get fully dark to see all of those stars. So where we've still got this blue, that's the last bit of daylight from the sun that's not disappeared, and it means that it's overpowering a lot of that fainter light coming in from those very, very distant stars. So they're struggling to come through. But as it gets darker, you'll notice more start to pop out, and then that cloud's going to go, and we're going to have a fantastic night of sky watching. Oh, 22:56 is that one. Yeah, so that will be, that will be the one in, what's it saying there? 9 minutes. Does that say 49? Yes, so that'll be the one there, just before my alarm goes off for that one. Lee, how are you doing? There, it's clear up here. I love it. So, blow those clear skies this way. It's not much to blow. Hopefully, these are due to go in these wisps of cloud. I mean, it's not stopping us. It just does, it doesn't look as pretty, does it? But, yeah, they are due to go pretty soon. It's trying to track one down there, but it's a little bit on the borderline of faint. We've got some new settings to try to see if we can prove it, though. In fact, let me turn up the brightness. There we go. Let's get some stars in on the shot there. There we go. It's a little bit clearer. How are we doing, Spare Rib 2? And Super Pancake. Hell yeah. I caught you even earlier. Again, the happy days. We're all good here. We're all good. We're on slightly earlier tonight as it is. We're just trying to see when is a good time at the minute. When is it just about dark enough? So I'm always pushing it as early as I can for that. We shall see. Maybe we was on slightly too early. But, yeah, it'll get darker. That's what happens. We're going to see lots and lots of awesome things tonight. What we got on down here?
Zoom mode activated.
Remember, we need to see it stop dead, shoot off at speed, change its course or trajectory. That tells us for sure that it is something a little bit stranger indeed. Man-made objects, they're basically just falling to Earth in a big circle. Is the second one being tracked? They cannot just dart around like in Star Wars or anything like that. It takes far too much energy. They can't carry the fuel for it. So, yeah, anything behavior like that is far beyond any technology that we have at the minute for those things. But until they do something strange like that, we can't say for sure that it is, again, anything other than a man-made object. Doesn't mean it 100% is, just means statistically that is going to be what is most likely, because there's so much of them up there. But there are quite a few. It's not known exactly how many of these strange objects are up there that look like satellites have been up in the sky, since before man had satellites up there. But there are a lot of them apparently now. They call them uncorrelated targets. They're filtered out of all of the lists of these things of what space junk and stuff. They purposely classify those lists. But yeah, things that look very similar to this have been. Oh, that was a flash. I don't think that was the tracker going off. Keep your eyes on this part of the screen, A1 there. We're looking for another repeated flash. I don't think it was the tracker having a blink. Because something we've seen before that's very, very anomalous is the stationary flashing. Now, everything up there should be moving, should be in motion. So if something stays still long enough to flash back to us once every 2 minutes, every 17 seconds, whatever it might be, that is very, very strange indeed. So, yeah, keep your eyes on that. We've had that one quite a few times. It always roughly seems to be from the same patch of sky as well. Just going to turn up the brightness a little bit more. We're going to be playing chase that as it gets darker, so we'll be able to see more and more. And Scooby there, was that a Meteor tracker? I saw something new. Ah, yes, we do have a Meteor tracker. That is, for you guys over on the TikTok, it is there. It's over there for you guys on the YouTube. So, yeah, the mods can press the button there to log meteorites when we see those wonderful shooting stars pop up. But we've got the ISS timer going off at the minute. Which means in a few minutes' time it might pass over and it might be visible, hopefully. How are you doing there, Scooby? And Pancake there, I had a flash twice last night and nothing again there. I couldn't tell if it was a cloud, but I could see other stars, so I thought maybe not. It's quite subtle when we've seen it, but it is highly, highly strange. The only things that should be still up there are the satellites in geostationary orbits, but where we're looking, we're nowhere near that part of the sky, so it's highly, highly anomalous. Where are we down there? What are you on about? What are you on about, Smith? And put some early things on Discord. and an interview with Kevin Goodman. Oh, I'll have to have a look at those ones, Gandalf. Excellent for that. Nathan, how are you doing? And Scooby, oh, can you explain? So we've got an ISS timer, I should say, rather than tracker, and it tells us when the ISS is going to be visible from our part of the world. So it counts us down. So therefore, if we do get a sighting, we do see something go over and get very excited, we'll know, was the ISS visible to us? But it also gives me a little nudge and a pop-up to tell me when to run downstairs and change the position of the camera. Same with the shooting stars as well. There's an interactive grid, which you've probably seen go off a few times there. So the mods have control of that, and they can highlight those squares if they say it's strange that I'm not paying attention to. But also they can now log by pressing a button of those shooting stars there. Emilio, how are you doing? Yeah, we're all good, Nathan, and good to hear you are too. Where did we get to over on the TikTok? Where do we get to? Got to clear, didn't we? Connor, thank you for the follow. Where are you joining us from there? And Agent X, thank you for the gifts. Appreciate that. All goes back into Steam. And D back there, just got my 20-mile laser delivered today. I would love to play one of those, but I would get myself in trouble with it. Absolutely guaranteed for that one. And the ISS will be at 13.8 degrees max elevation there. So poor. So we've got, apparently there was an earlier one. So what's my one saying? Because there was a later passing. Where is it? So I've got one that's going to be apparently, yeah, really, really low for us here. It's going to be 8 degrees. And the first one, though, in about 3 minutes' time, is going to be 22 degrees. So I'm going to see if I can spin the camera around, and we can see if we can catch that one in time, hopefully. In fact, let's spin the camera around now. So I'm going to pause the tracker, and we should be able to point it in the direction it's going to be coming from. Wait until we see trees, a few clouds this way. Right, so we should be able to see the ISS roughly from this position, he says. So let's see how we get on with that. Let the tracking load again, see if it's going to pick anything up. Oh, having a soak, and then it will... Is it sensitive enough to pick that one up? Yes, there it is. Let's see if we get... So the ISS should come similar to where that bottom one is coming through right now. It should be on a similar trajectory, maybe a bit higher, but we shall see how we get on. Where do we get to there? And I love pointing it at the satellites there, testing my kids, telling my kids they're aliens. Some people do report that, you know, there are these anomalies they're seeing up there, and they point their laser at them, and then they'll blink or they'll move off or something. There is quite a high correlation of cause and effect with that. So I'm not brave enough. We're right on the edge of a military training range here, so we get a lot of attack helicopters, and I know in my luck, what's that strange light? I'll be pointing a laser at an Apache attack helicopter, and I won't be around for long. How you doing, Print Farm? You're at the lake fishing there, but signal is crap in and out there. Oh, well, enjoy the fishing and keep your eyes to the sky. It's a good opportunity to see if you can spot something. And did you check out the video links I sent to you the other day of the ISS and the paranormal one? Is it on TikTok? Because possibly not, because I don't think I've been slacking on the TikTok messages. I'll have to have a look. I normally give it a thumbs up if I have. Where are we? ISS is going to pass over Aberdeen. All right, that's actually quite high. Maybe we won't see it from this position. Let's have a look. Hold on. Let's have a look at the ISS tracker. Where are we? Oh, I've got an app. I didn't know I had an app. Why have I been like a mug, just Googling it every time? Okay, yeah, so this current one, it should be quite... Oh, no, it does look quite... It's going over Spain for this first pass. So, we should be able to see it tonight, guys. We should be able to see it. Might even be a bit high if it's... We'll see. We'll see how we get on with it. Let's see where we got to here. Oh, it's like a white worm floating across the screen. You know, I don't think I have seen that one. And Scooter Boy, yo, space, my favourite. Yeah, space is fantastic. You don't necessarily need the aliens, do you? Space and, you know, seeing all the satellites flying around is pretty cool indeed. Where are you joining us from, Scooter Boy? I saw the moon today, though. I got 2 videos on it there if you want to see the first 2 vids. Hey, if you tag us in it, then I'll get a chance to have a look at those. And keep getting minor power outages. It's Mercury and Microwave K. Hello. Harco is in as well there. Thank you for the gift, sir. All the gifts, the subs, the members, all goes back into the stream. Help us improve what we're doing. Northwest North. Yeah, we should be in the right place to catch the ISS for that one. And Andre as well. Welcome aboard. thank you for the follow. Where are you joining us from tonight? Guys, if you're new here, do say hello. Let us know where you're joining us from and ask away any questions that you may have. If you're curious about what we're doing, why we're doing it, or how we're doing it, ask away. There's no silly questions here at all. And again, if you're skeptical, that's totally cool as well. You can just enjoy the night sky. It's always good to have a healthy mix. Where are we over on the tubes? Where did we get to with you guys? Down there as well. No. Getting your exercise. If I go up and downstairs, yeah, they'll definitely get my steps in. And what secret bases are around your way? Rich, good question. You know what? I'm a nightmare. I haven't really explored a lot of the local area since we moved here. We're in the middle of nowhere, so I just get the train into Bristol for work, and that's it. But we're right on the edge of Salisbury Plain training area, so just lots of military activity generally. It's a bit of a military town here. But we are not far from what was the Burlington bunker, which was the largest Cold War bunker we had in the UK. It's where Whitehall was going to, come to basically in the event of a nuclear war. They've sold it off now, or they at least were trying to sell it. It's decommissioned, but it's like a 40s time capsule or 50s time capsule. It's absolutely amazing, all the stuff down there. Look at the pictures of it, it's hilarious. But yeah, our little town was where the train station where all of the civil servants were meant to be shipped to, and then get on the bus to go to the bunker if it was all going shit-shaped. And but I'm not sure that, I think there's a lot generally in the area. And is that the outline of the Milky Way? So I don't think we're that lucky. I think that is just the last few wisps of cloud that we're getting there. And, Emilio, sea-free ice, I don't think it's quite over now. We're now in the window for it to be passing over. It's quite a wide time window we've got there. Actually, it's a little bit wide. It's currently just off the coast of Canada at the second. It won't take long. It'll be a few minutes before it passes by. I might have to adjust that little notification there. Yeah, it's very, very still at the minute, the clouds. And Janie's in. How are you doing? And thank you, Scooby, there, for feeding Alan.
Nom nom nom, thanks, guys.
And there we go. We're still getting some tracks. That's good.
Film mode activated.
So we're going to see lots of objects like this tonight. We need to see it stop dead, shoot off at speed, change its course or trajectory, because that is how we know for sure that it is something a little bit stranger than a man-made object up there. There's going to be mostly them, and look, the tracking line has got it wrong. It's not predicted that straight path accurately enough. It is deviating. So, but there we go. As the further away it gets, it thinks it's anomalous. So we've got to work on that. That's to finish off phase one. Doesn't get them all wrong, but it does get a few of them when it gets that line wrong. But the idea is that it's identifying the movement, plotting its course across the screen as if it is going to be a boring satellite, and then telling us if it is something a little bit stranger. I need to turn up or turn down the sensitivity a little bit. There we go. I got another fainter one down there. This is a lighter patch of the sky. In fact, should I turn up the brightness a touch? And then as that blue goes, we're still seeing a bit of blue. As that goes, that's the last bit of daylight there. We're going to see more stars, and we're going to see more movement. We've got a faint one down there, and we're going to see more, hopefully, strange things up there. All in one good use of the grid there, guys. I can just about see it there, just coming off screen. This way as well, the sun is setting, or has set, but it's lighter going, if you're on TikTok, to the bottom, or to the right if you're over on the tubes. That's why we're getting the shadow on the left, but not on the right. And once those clouds goes, we move the camera back round after the ISS pass, then we can, for the shooting star it's trying to track, then we'll be able to adjust the settings to get that one pretty right there. It should curve actually opposed to being perfect straight. You're bang on there, Scooby. You are bang on. So essentially, obviously, they're curving round. It's going to look pretty straight. I think for us, it shouldn't be. I need to figure out what the exact move, like the visual, is going to look. And I suppose it's going to depend on altitude as well. Because those ones that are just so far out, from our little snapshot of the sky, we're probably not going to notice visually that curve. But the ones that are much closer, I'd imagine that curve is going to be more dramatic. And that's what I need to figure out. Basically, when we're trying to account for this, it's, calculate the variable curve ratios, and therefore, they're not anomalous. But it's beyond me at the minute, the maths. Where did we get to as well? Ali, they're coming in with a gift. Thank you for feeding Alan.
Nom, thanks, guys.
Oh, and Living Light.
Nom, 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 thanks,
Thank you for feeding Alan. Guys, if you're new here, do say hello. Let us know where you're watching from tonight there, and also ask away any questions you may have. And there's no silly questions here at all. Where are we? Down there. Rocky as well, thank you for the follow. It passes you at 22:56. Yeah, our little notification is a lot earlier than it should be. It's still over the Atlantic, so I do need to adjust that. Where did we get to? Scrolling ahead. Sorry, guys. Got to find where I was in the TikTok chat. Where do we get to? Scooter Boy, thank you for the follow. And Twubble there. What do you use to scan the objects there, the on-screen thing? So that's something we're making ourselves, and that's why it's a little bit janky at the second. But we are gonna, once it's ready, it will be, well, hopefully it'll be publicly available. We'll give you a link to that one. So make sure, guys, you've joined our little Discord community. Link in bio. So it's full of all awesome UFO stuff, plus our community movie nights and things like that, but that's also where we'll share the details once it is available for everyone. Fran as well, thank you for the follow, good to have you in. Harko, thank you for the gifts. And Rio Sam, you just said you have an app for tracking the ISS. Well, it's called, I think it's ISS Live Now. That's the one I've realised, just remembered that I've got. So it shouldn't be too far from coming into view at the second. It shouldn't be too long if we are going to be able to get it. Where did we get to? Sorry, guys, trying to see where we got to in the text. Grim there. Did they ever find out what the Black Knight satellite was? Some people, the debunks of it, say that what the images that they saw were, the blanket from a lost blanket from one of the space shuttle missions. Although, even if that is the case of that specific image, the idea that there could be a probe in orbit, there is lots of other evidence for that. There's a hell of a lot of things up there that we track, and we don't know what they are or where they've come from. By we, I mean, the governments and things like that. Earth has been screaming, hasn't it? Biological life for about 2 billion years. So if an alien civilization has had the technology that we've got, now, any time in the last 2 billion years, they'll know that Earth has life. And wouldn't you put a probe? We would if we had the technology. Scooby, I'll have to follow it, do it after the stream there for it. And will I see it in Ireland? You should do. If you're looking south, it shouldn't be too far for him. Not exactly sure how high in the sky it is going to be. I need the degrees on the screen. Maybe we are a touch on the high side. I'll have to see if I can tweak that one. No, I won't be able to do that from up here. Be free, good spot in there, Kelly. Sorry, I'm a bit late behind on that one, but I'm sure the mods can pick it up for the grid. And where are we? Down here. Alex as well. Alexi, sorry. Thank you for the follow there. And a Will Trades there. Did you build it? Yes, we built all of the stuff ourselves, and that's why it's not so great at the second. But this, our SETI, our radio SETI there, where we're scanning, with our own dish there, listening out, hoping to hear ET say hello on the radio waves. That's available for you guys all the time on our website, and plus our sensor dashboard, and also our UFO dog whistle as well. So fingers crossed the tracker can be at some point too. And who's that one? It doesn't say a name. Where did we get to? I can't click on it, but thank you for the follow there, whoever that was. Annie as well, thank you for that too. Where are you joining us from? Guys, if you're new here, do say hello. Let us know where you're watching us from tonight there, and again, ask away any questions. If you've had an experience with the phenomena, we would love to hear that one too, whilst we're waiting for the action to appear on screen. I don't know, we might be a little bit too high for the ISS at this point. And if we're too high here, we've not got much. We'll keep it on it until it's fully south of us, but yeah, I don't think that we might not be able to catch it tonight, guys. Well, let's have a look. Let's have a see. Where did we get to as well? And Will, there, are you building it with AI? So the app itself isn't AI. It's or the application we're building, the tracker isn't AI, but we are trying to include a learning model to get it better at identifying some of the things. But I haven't been successful in that yet. And so do you think there could, think any of these could be a UAP? Not that we've seen so far. Not that we've seen so far tonight. We're specifically looking for the ones that stop dead, shoot off at speed, change their course or trajectory. That gives us the 100% at these altitudes. That is highly anomalous. There are no good reasons for what they could be, from our catalogue of explainable things. But saying that, it doesn't mean that anyone, just because it doesn't display anomalous behaviour, that doesn't mean that that particular object isn't 100%. It just means we don't have the information to say otherwise. It is statistically most likely to be a satellite, a man-made object or something like that. But we can't know for sure. And in fact, a lot of these things were seen, not to the same degree, obviously, much less, but they were still seen and tracked and observed and recorded from before man had satellites up there. And Spooky as well, thank you for the follow. Ali?
Nom nom nom,
thank you for feeding Alan there. And Frank, what's the craziest thing you've seen? So, I don't know. There was one thing that we saw, and we may have caught it the other day, and I still need to go through the clip of that one. And it was this big, bright orange ball. Now, when you do this for a while and you go, well, it was far too big and far too fast to be a potential satellite, but it was far too slow and there was no tail for it to be a shooting star. No idea what that could have been there, but I think we may have seen it the other day. I just need to go through the clips. And Fran, I love this. I love having you guys in here as well. Or ISS. I don't think we're going to see it tonight, sadly. But yeah, I love having you guys in. I love hearing your accounts. Honestly, this is the thing that has blown my mind the most, is hearing, I said, all of your encounters with the phenomena. Just how much is going on and how often, the various degrees. Karma as well there. Thank you for the follow. Where are you in from? So yeah, do feel free to share your accounts. We'd love to hear them there. And Bar 20 as well. Bar 20, sorry, good to have you in too. Going to leave it on this part of the screen for a little bit longer just to see if we can catch the ISS, and if not, we will spin ourselves back around to a more, hopefully, cloud-free part of the sky. You can see it, DJ. It must be too... Yeah, I think it's going to be too low in the sky for us, the ISS tonight. That is a bit frustrating. So we've got a little bit down, we've got a hill at the end of my garden with some trees on top of it, so we don't actually get quite the range that we would like. And Jelly there, thank you for the follow. Bar 20 there, nice channel there from Greater London. Good to have you in there. Have you ever seen anything strange in the skies? I was from Essex initially, and now we're down in Wiltshire, so we get much better skies. But yeah, God, it was so light polluted back in Essex. I didn't see anything, and part of doing this stream was to, you know, see if I could see anything strange myself. And it turns out this little town here, Warminster in Wiltshire, had its own UFO flap in the 60s and 70s, which was absolutely insane. Probably one of the best locations for consistent activity there. We definitely do have a great community. There are plenty of different sections to engage with. On the Discord, there is so many. My favourite bit is your personal experiences section there, where you guys are sharing your accounts with the highly strange images and videos too, so feel free to join, have a read through of those, and add yours if you want to. OC, welcome aboard. And the Professor too, good to have you guys in. Where are you joining us from tonight? And love the live, thank you for that. What software? So we're making this ourselves. Hence why I like this one here is getting a false positive. It's not accounting, probably with these for the curvature. But this one here, this looks like a reasonably straight track there, but that's why it's a bit janky. Oh, God. But yeah, so we're building it ourselves. Actually, you can see the nice curvature of that one there. It didn't give itself a put-off, though, until it got to that point. Weird. But yeah, the second phase is, once that's a little bit more accurate, the second phase is going to be getting it to identify the stars in shot, so we know it knows which part of the night sky we're looking at, and then we'll be able to overlay the known satellites that we are tracking across the screen, giving us more information there. Exactly, Fran. Wow, there is so much going on there. An ISS over Spain. Yeah, I think it's a bit too low for us, sadly, here. And love the live, bro. No, thank you for that one. Oh, and Cornwall. I'm very, very, very jealous of that. What about whereabouts in Cornwall? You don't have to be too specific, actually. Sorry about that. But have you seen that? Better question. Have you seen anything strange there? Cornwall has got such a history with the highly strange there. A lot of the culture. It's not I was going to say the fairy and the fae, but it's the piskies, isn't it, for Cornwall and all that sort of stuff. I do love it there. Chef as well. Welcome aboard there. And Ambin is in Somerset. Hey, we are literally right on the border of Somerset there. Have you ever experienced anything strange in those skies? And Nuki, oh, Pablo. I'm incredibly jealous there. Nuki is my happy place. Many a days spent down there. The Mermaid Inn at Porth Beach is it's where I go when it's a stressful day in my head. Have you seen anything strange in those skies? And Anthony as well, thank you for the follow. Dordo, how are you doing? And thank you for the gifts, guys. The gifts, the subs, the patrons, the members, the merch, all that jazz goes back into the stream for things like this and helping us improve what we're doing. We're currently putting our stuff, or everything, towards getting a UFO UK hotspot tour. We want to start off with Rendlesham Forest and do all of the interesting places across the UK, and that's where it's all going at the minute. So hopefully you'll be able to join us for that one. St Austell, I've stayed in a travel lodge there many times. Seen a lot, and I monitor a lot of air traffic and stuff. So that's very interesting. So you've got the 1 foot in the air traffic door there. So you've got that gut feeling. You've got the skills, and the experience to kind of identify what is common air traffic. But yet you've still seen some strange things. What's the strangest thing you've heard there? And Spoken's from Liverpool. Good to have you in there. Good beach, good pub. If I could get back there, I would, all of the time. Still quite bright up in the islands of Scotland. It's still a little bit. We are getting mostly dark now. In fact, I'm going to turn up the brightness a touch more because we're chasing that. Now there's a little bit. Got a few wisps of cloud in the sky, but they are due to go, guys. Yeah, seen a lot there as well. And it's Wednesday, Harco. We come on half an hour earlier to catch you. Hopefully it'll align for a more reasonable time for you. How are you, though, sir? And thank you for the gifts there. I've seen a few odd UFOs there. Strange to be satellites. Ah, Pablo, that's exactly the thing, isn't it? We're often getting so limited data. See, that's a strange one. Look at this, is how straight that was for most of it, and then it only curved at that point there. We'll have to do some calculations, you know, because these things are falling to Earth in a big circle around the planet, so obviously there's going to be some degree of movement. But a lot of these do track perfectly straight, and that one is very, very strange. But yes, it's just like that, actually. You know, you see something, and you're like, it feels like it's strange. My gut feeling's going off. But we don't have the language for exactly why, necessarily. And what you say, there's a certain time with more activity, or is it just completely random? So there are, and I think most of that is, ooh, that's my neighbour's turned on the light. In fact, let me turn the tracker off for a second and spin the camera around. Yeah, but it's mostly seasonal. So what happens is, obviously, we're seeing these things. Hold on your hats, guys, spinning the camera. We're seeing these things because... There we go, let's get Vega back in shot. God, look how dark that is in comparison. We need to turn up the brightness here. Let's get some more brightness. And on this one... a little bit more... I don't want to wash it out. Still a few wisps of cloud that are due to go. But yeah, so basically we're seeing the sun's light reflect... Oh, let it jazz. Seeing the sun's light reflect off of these objects because they've still got direct line of sight, and then it's bouncing back down to Earth, and obviously we're able to see it there. Good use of the grid, guys. That is the interactive grid. So do, if we miss anything, if I'm distracted by the chat, drop it in, the grid reference in, and the mods can highlight the interactive grid if it's interesting enough, and we'll zoom in on it. But yeah, so it's seasonal. It depends on the sun's position, certain times of night, and all that sort of thing there. That is how it can get the light to bounce back off of those objects. Frank there, what do you say? There's a certain time... Oh, no, I did that one there. And Pablo, is that a satellite going across right now? So most likely, yes. We're looking specifically for the ones that do something a little bit strange, that stop dead, shoot off at speed, change their course or trajectory. That will tell us for sure that it is something a lot more anomalous, because they can't act like that. But until they do something strange, we have to assume otherwise there. And thank you there, Gamer. I really appreciate that, and I appreciate having you in there. Good to see you tonight. How are you doing there? And Doodle Tap Tap, exactly. Tubers, I'll be back over to you guys shortly. I'm just finishing up with the TikTok chat. In fact, TikTok, you're actually getting the rough end of the deal. It looks a lot better over on the tube. So it looks like this. The camera's around the right way. There's less of my face, more of the night sky, and all sorts of extra contextual analysis. So at the thing UFO, it's definitely worth having a look to see if you prefer it. So on top, I monitor AM radio band for aeroplanes with my CBN scanner. Oh, I love that. We do a bit of radio work too. So on the cloudy nights, because we're on pretty much every night, guys, so do make sure you're following us. Said you get the notification when we go live. Clear nights, it's the UFO UAP Skywatch, coming to you live from the heart of Crop Circle country, and just down the road from Stone Henge. It's Wiltshire in the UK. But those rainy nights or cloudy nights when we can't get the camera out, we do this. It's an alien radio signal hunt, and we're listening on the hydrogen line, listening out for hopefully a message from ET, where the wow signal is heard, but where scientists theorise we are most likely to hear a message. We dabble in a bit of that, but I don't know a lot outside of the hydrogen line monitoring there. And I did pick up some strange chatter the night ago. Ooh, so I'm on a CBA. Was it like what the actual aircraft themselves reporting anomalies? And Sean as well there, thank you for the follow there. And what do you use to get this image? So it's a Sony A7, and it's a good lens. I can't, the most of it is the lens. I just can't remember well, it doesn't have a brand name. It's a cheap Chinese one, sadly. But it's all to do with letting in enough light and then spending ages messing around with the settings. Right, I'm going to bounce back over to the tubes. Where did we get to for you guys? Where did we get to in the tube chat? So I'm bouncing across two chats tonight. I'll read one fully, and then I'll bounce back over to the other ones. And we got to Living Light being in, didn't we, there? And Raf is in. How are you doing? Different altitude would generate a different curvature. I've got to try and figure out what the maths could be to allow for those, and how we can, work with it. We'll figure out a way. And, oh yeah, sadly we missed the ISS from here. Heavens Above. Oh yeah, who was it mentioned that one the other day? And I haven't downloaded that one still. Which star is in C3? Sorry, Emilio. I think that was Antares, though. Antares? Am I pronouncing that right? If it was that part of the sky before I moved the camera around. Your neck of the woods is tanks and biohazard tech. Actually, Rich, yeah, you're not far. We are not far from Porton Down there, the biological warfare laboratories and stuff. Lots of tanks as well on the old training ranges. Lots of helicopters too. And Tim as well. Good to see you there. Sure, enjoying the video. Thank you, Tim. Do appreciate that. Good to have you in. Where in the world are you joining us from? And things are starting to pick up. It does feel like it at the minute as well. Oh, you can see the ISS. Damn it. We have caught it a few times last week on stream there. How you doing, Marcus, as well? Feed him. I'm loving the stickers. And Marcus as well, member for a month. Thank you, Marcus, for supporting us there. We really do appreciate that as well. I said all the members, the patrons, all that sort of stuff there. The gifts does go straight back into the stream there, hopefully increasing our odds of detections and things like that. It's all going back to the minute. We're looking to get our live kit a bit more stable so we can go on the road a little bit more often. Every now and again we do take the show up to the old Iron Age hill forts that surround the town. Long history of sightings there, and we've seen some things when we've been up with you guys before. But yeah, we want to do Rendlesham Forest, a UFO, a UK hotspot tour. Speaking of the merch though, let's see who's on our merch showcase tonight there. Is that Janie on a t-shirt? A up with a mug. A up with a t-shirt. Carl there. And I think Amanda's meant to be on here as well. Why is Amanda not loaded in? Right, I'll have to do that one. We've got a few more, but if you do get merch, guys, you post yourself in the merch showcase channel on the Discord, we can bring you up on the screen there. I don't know why Amanda's not been brought in on that one, because that was a new post for it. And where are we down there? Ooh, Somerset Inspector. Yep, not far. We're right on the Warminster is right on the Wiltshire Somerset border there, so... And it's good. Don't forget about checking the show after you show something to fall asleep to. Yeah. Oh, that's a point. Yeah. A subliminal therapy there. Yeah. We've actually, Alan can wake you guys up now, though. He has a message for that. And Micah as well. How are you? Also, Mike E there as Robo. Thank you for hanging out with us. Where are you in from? And John there. Warminster stories are in my UFO book there. The world's greatest UFO mysteries. And wasn't it the one with the policeman reporting something in the sky? That was one of them. Yeah, it was. There was everything here. Absolutely everything. And it was 10 years solid. It wasn't like one sighting and then 2 years later another one, and then 3 years later that another one. Not at all. No, it was constant for this 10-year period. Absolutely crazy. We've got a few people in the chat that actually experienced it at the time, but it was crazy, and it had everything, every part of the phenomena. So there's something that was attracting them here, and it could be, I mean, they do talk, if you're into your ley lines, there is a convergence of ley lines here, a unique amount. I think it's like 12 or something crazy in this little town. It's also surrounded by Iron Age hill forts, just perfectly around the town. They look down on us. And so maybe it's something to do with that. And Super Pancake there. I used to work at the Esplanade in Newquay there. Absolutely horrible management. I mean, Newquay, when I first started going, it was a bit of a party town, but it's really changed. Like, I haven't been actually in a few years, but I really see it change. A lot less clubs and things like that. I don't think it's quite family friendly yet. That's a nice bright one there. The tracking is off on that one, though, you can see. This one's got it nailed quite right, though. But, oh, God, many a time there. And Amanda, oh, it's retracted the message there. Sorry, Amanda. And Amanda there coming in with the gift feeding Alan as well. And I'm always busy in the chat when your show ends. Oh, thank you, Scooby, for that very much. I appreciate it. Yeah, there's a thing that we can direct it to our videos, can't we? Oh God, I'm new to that side of things. And Marcus has also gifted a membership. Thank you, Marcus. That's very, very kind. Who managed to get that one? JW, you got that one from Marcus there. Do thank Marcus for that. But it means, guys, members and Patreons. I think it's Thursday we're going to be doing it. I think 9 PM before our main Skywatch there, and it's our chance to do our UFO homework. Look at all the documents, the scientific papers, all the leaked accounts, whistleblower testimonies and images and things like that related to the phenomena. Yeah, I said if you've heard of Project Blue Book and stuff like that, we read through it all, and yeah, it's really actually interesting to read it all because some of the details, seeing how similar it is to modern times, and it hasn't really moved on. But I think it's going to be, I think they call it the Robertson panel, and that's what we're going to be reading. So it's the CIA's scientific advisory panel on unidentified flying objects. Again, those really early reports looking into the phenomena. Is there something here? And what they tend to say is yes. Like actually in the details of the reports, as you're going through them, they all go, yeah, there's something strange. We can't prove, that it's man-made or anything like that. We need to study it more. And then the summary that goes to the public is, yeah, nothing to see here. So it's always interesting to read there. The trees are glowing. We've been targeted there. And is that Panther, there for all the hundreds of thousands of pieces of space junk up there. A UFO needs a cosmic driving license to avoid them. And it's getting a bit of an issue, isn't it? It's getting quite the issue. They're very worried that's going to cause problems very soon for all those satellites flying around up there. And where are we? The thing space salvage. That's our side gig there. Ken, not every light in the sky wants to guide you home. Some are searching for someone to take instead. Always very poetic and particularly spooky tonight. How are you doing, Ken? And Tim as well, love your site there. We'll be watching. Thank you, Tim. Really do appreciate that. And always welcome in here as well, whenever you fancy it too. And if you guys, if you're UFO hunters, at some point I'll show you properly our website, because we've got lots of tools on there that are free for you guys to use in your own hunting. You don't have to just join us on the live for that. And I've always been curious about the incident with the Janet flight that came into Boscombe Down back in the early 90s. Secret aircraft project or something more interesting. So I've heard a few rumours around this, and what I've heard, again, not a lot on info on it, but the gist I got was that it could have been an earlier reverse engineered craft had to make an emergency landing there. But I've not got too many details. How you doing, Lozzie? And Mike Robbo as well. Blackpool. Hey, we got a few in from Blackpool. Good to have you in. Amanda, it's still filtering you out for some reason there. And where are we there? And Mike has just discovered us. Hey, well, that is what is so wonderful about this day and age, isn't it? That we can be so much more connected like this. We get to meet all of you guys, and my favourite part in doing this is hearing your individual experiences with the phenomena. That has the thing that's changed my understanding about what might be going on the most. The sightings, the visuals are cool, obviously, but actually seeing how much you guys see, how often, the range of it, that is what has blown my mind. And what a world, what time we live in for that. So yeah, we always love to have people in the community. We warn you though, it does become a habit. You'll be in here every night because we are on pretty much most nights. So good to have you in there, Mike. And guys, yeah, remember to make sure you're following, subscribed, so you get those notifications when we go live, because we're going to be going on a little bit earlier each time now to try and catch that first bit of a darkness there. So you want those. But do say hello, especially if you're new here. Let us know where you're watching from. Ask away any questions that you may have. But we're doing a live UFO UAP Skywatch from Wiltshire here in the UK, right in the heart of Crop Circle country, and just down the road from Stone Henge. Amanda, you're in Somerset. Oh yes, because you were travelling back home or something, weren't you, today? Good to have you in. And did you? I think you did actually. And then you waved as you went by. Gandalf 122 in over there on the tubes. Well done, guys. We do appreciate that. It is the likes, the shares, the tapping away, all of that stuff that really does help us reach more and more like-minded people there, like yourselves. And say the more eyes and minds on the phenomena, the more we can all piece this puzzle together. And Amanda, C3, good spotting there. Newton Aircliff there. Where's that one, Rosie? Newton Aircliff. I'm not sure I know that one. And Mike, you used to hunt UFO. Oh, what is your best experience? We want to hear about this as well. Is that Ollie over there as well? Crop circles appearing every day. It's kicking off. It's kicking off. There is just the amount of sightings that we're getting generally in the phenomena. And now I said crop circle. This year has been crazy for crop circles. We visited one last year because it was right on the outskirts of town here, so it was nice and convenient, and it was beautiful to see. I don't know if it was man-made or otherwise, but it was incredible. But some of the ones we're seeing this year, the intricacies of the patterns and things like that. I'm interested in the ones that are like more of like a fractal design, because a lot of the ones that we see, they do feel very much like what would a human think, an alien would say. But we're getting some interesting ones, aren't we, this year? How do you guys feel on the old crop circles? Are they not of interest to you guys, or maybe there's something going on, or is it all very interesting? So I used to hunt Foster. Now they hunt you. Oh my god! What is it? It's like that runs like the hitchhiker effect, isn't it? The idea that when you have an experience, it can sometimes follow you back. I found your secret hiding place before the show there. I'm interested in what is interesting with the numbers. So there's lots of, isn't there really? But the amount that is going on at the minute, that is what's crazy. Now, I do think there's going to be a bit of an observation component to this, a bit of observation bias, that, you know, we're now connected like we're all here tonight. So if we saw something... Now, okay, I think that there... I think it was tracking this one, and they were perfectly aligned for the tracker to kind of wander off there, because that otherwise was the handbrake turn that we all need. I think it was just a misalignment of the tracking there, I think. Let me turn the sensitivity down a touch for that one, so it can help track those. There we go. We've got us a nice bright one up there. Should we zoom in on that? Activated. But yeah, I think now we're so much more connected, just like we are here tonight. If we saw something strange happen right now, we'd all be here to witness it. And I think that connection is now meaning that the mainstream narrative of there's nothing to see here, it just isn't holding up anymore. And therefore they've got to start releasing some information there to just kind of prop up the story. But it will start to leak out. Fractals, yeah, very interesting component to this. And the screen reminds me of the old Atari game Asteroids Core. It does, doesn't it? It looks a little bit like Space Invaders or something like that. I have been tempted to do like a little overlay like that. Oh, Amanda back had to reboot there. Good to see you in. And Shelley, are you using AI to pick the lottery numbers again? Hey, pretty better right there. RJ as well. The farmers are going mental about the crop. I'm not surprised. The amount of crop they're probably losing to that. Right, I'm going to quickly bounce back over to the TikTok. You guys are waiting patiently for me to read your messages. I'm a few behind, so you'll have to forgive me. I'm going to read through them all, and then we'll see where we got to. Got to Sean, didn't we? Gamer into, and you were here. Thank you, Kate. Appreciate that. Still a bit sensitive over there. And the tracking software. What's the first part of that game? Yeah, the tracking software is we're making it ourselves, hence why we're getting a few false positives there. One day we'll make it available, but we're a little bit away from that yet. So make sure you guys are on our Discord. Not only has it got the latest, you guys are sharing your sightings experience with the phenomena, the latest UFO news, all of the interesting podcasts or info that we talk about get shared there, and our Alien Movie Club monthly, where we all watch an alien thing film and chat along in the Discord. But yeah, that's where we'll post the details about all of the techs and stuff that we are, make available to you guys. But it'll be the thing UFO.live, and when you log in there, you've got to hit the sign up button, use the same email as the Patreon, and then it knows you're not a bot, and then you get access to all of the tools that we have over there. You can do the free Patreon, you don't have to pay, but it's just so we know that you're not a bot. And usually just a mix of standard air traffic and military, but yeah, it was RAF base and was talking about unidentified object in the Bodmin airspace. Professor, that's one thing we don't monitor actually, but that would be really, really cool to monitor, I think. Yeah. Just if we could get AI to listen to it and pick out whenever they're talking about things like that. That's a good... you give me ideas there as well. Marcus coming in with the super chats there. Every day, just ordered your Skywatch Signal Hunter out and Skywatch t-shirt. Thank you, Marcus. That is always amazing support there. You've been with us a very long time now, haven't you? That's very, very kind of you. Massively appreciated. I want to see a picture in the merch showcase in the Discord. So thank you for that, and thank you so much for the super chats. So it all goes back into the stream, helping us improve what we do. So it is things like the tracker as well. Speaking of which, guys, we've also got this part. If you've not seen it before, this is just basically details from flight radar, that sort of stuff there. But it tells us if we do get a sighting, is there anything in our airspace that it could be. Now, we're pointing south-southwest at the second, so nothing that's going to be in our range, but we can bring all of those things up there as well. So we appreciate that very much, Marcus. Very kind of you. Excuse me, there. So at the minute, it's all getting us closer to getting to our Rendlesham Forest to do a live Skywatch on location from there. The scene just outside the gates of the US Air Force Base, where that crash/landing may have happened back in the early 1980s. And the more you're telling me about Rendlesham Forest, the more scared of it I am getting. That's a good tracker there, DJ. Thank you for posting that one in the group for everyone. Where did we get to as well? I think we're out here there. I'd love to purchase a t-shirt. Thank you, Professor. Hey, if you're up for it, it's shop.thethingufo.live, or there should be a link in our bio for it there. And we've got a few designs there, but we appreciate it. It'll get when that loads. It's not going to load now. I'm doing my little thing. It loaded earlier. Let me do that one manually. But oh, no, wrong one. That's the... There we go. All right. There we go. So that's our new hotspot tour for a t-shirt tour. And wait, don't buy that one yet. I'm waiting for the sample to arrive. Got the hats, got our main logo one, got our Skywatcher one, and got our Signal Hunter one for when we're doing our radio signals. General logo, monk, and we've also got a Team Alan as well. Can't forget Alan. He'll wind me up there. But we've also got a UFO sightings logbook there, so you can log all of your sightings and stuff there as well. But yeah, so to say, oh, getting the show on the road to Rendlesham Forest is the plan at the minute. But after then, we've got about 13 locations across the UK that we're hoping to get to with our show on the road. We do currently do a few local, like the Iron Age Hill Forts, the local sighting hotspots, but we need more reliable stuff like Starlink so we can connect wherever we are in the world. Where did we get to over on the TikTok chat there? It's still jumping ahead on me, so I'm trying to find where we got to. Where did we get to? Sorry guys, I'm quite far behind, but I will read through your messages. And Scooter, how you doing? Oh, you're still watching? Thank you, Scooter. I will check it out after the messages after the stream then, and we can see your sightings. And it's Macca's as well there. Good, thank you for the follow. Where are you joining us from? Guys, if you're new here, say hello. Let us know where you're watching from. Might take me a minute to get to your message, but we do want to hear from you, especially if you've had an experience with the phenomena. We'd love to hear about that. Oh, and a meteor fell in Milton Keynes about 30 minutes ago and burnt up in the atmosphere. It was green. It's so cool to see. Every now and again we get to see that just strike across the screen, and it's almost like a whole line just fades in really quickly and fades out. It's always stunning to see a shooting star. We're in a bit of a meteor shower period, so we should have a higher chance of seeing them there. Crazy Coaster is in. How are ya? Alexandra, there, hello, I've seen something right now there. Can I send you the message with the thing? Yeah, you can. I think TikTok's funny with sending like video and images messages and stuff, but you can try, definitely try, and I'll check it out. The ISS is coming over the UK. I think it's going to be too, on its next pass, it's going to be a bit too low for us. From where we are, we've got trees at the bottom of the garden, but it is due, so if you are in the UK, you want to be looking south, you should be able to see it in about an hour and 43 seconds-ish, maybe a little bit longer than that because my timer is a bit far ahead. Alexandra as well, and Paul, thank you guys for the follows. Very good to have you in. Thank you as well for sending that. I'll be able to check it out after the stream. The Southern Delta acrylids there. Oh my god, I can never get these pronunciations of the meteor showers. Radiant near Aquarius, Perseids, and Radiant in Perseus. Oh my god, tongue twisters for me. What is the red star in A3? Good question. So that one and the one, I don't think you can see it on TikTok, but guys, right on the line of D1 as well. There's a couple of these red dots. They're dead pixels on the camera, basically. But good spotting. Tubes is not working, my end, not yours. Oh, Amanda. Oh, at least you're over on here. That's why we've got the two platforms there. At least you tried, though, but thank you, Amanda. Where did we get to as well? Marcus, again, coming in with the gifts over on TikTok as well. Very kind of you. And Debsy as well there. Appreciate that. So it all goes back into the stream. Just scrolling through my... Oh, go away, TikTok. Sorry, it comes out with little things to prove that I'm not a robot. I can assure you I'm not a robot. Where did we get to? And Bella, how are you doing there? That's a familiar face. Oh, hello. Hello, I haven't seen you in a while. How are you doing? Good to see you. What a wonderful world we live in. You can see like my niche part of the internet now. How are you doing there, Bella? And Alexandra as well. Good to see there. Luke as well. Good to see you. Thank you for the follow. And this bloody cult as well. How are you doing tonight? And Kate, there are 2 or 3 red ones that are dead pixels. Yeah, there's a few. When we spin the camera around, you can see them statically there. So guys, if you're just joining us, do say hello. Let us know where you're all watching from tonight there. We would love to hear from you all, especially if you've had an experience with the phenomena. But if you're over on the TikTok, remember, the YouTube's is much better. It's round the right way. Less of my face, more of the night sky and all sorts of other analytical data there. So definitely check that one out. It's worth it. But we're on pretty much every night. So clear skies, it's this. It's the UFO, UAP, Skywatch, coming to you live from Wiltshire in the UK, right in the heart of crop circle country. I said just down the road from Stone Henge. But radio signal hunts happen when it is too cloudy to get the camera out. So do make sure you're following, and then you'll get those notifications when we go live. Where did we get to? It's jumping ahead on me. Got to Lou, didn't we? And thank you there, Alexandra, for sending that one. And Colt, good to see you in. Now, I did these ones, didn't I? There as well. And 555 as well. Thank you for the follow. And I send you the message. Excellent. I will check that one out there after the stream for that one there. Hate having fat fingers are lethal there. Always hitting different buttons. I've given up. I don't type. I just lurk quietly because I'm always getting it wrong with that as well. Stove as well. Thank you for the follow. And where are we down here? We love it when you go. Exactly. And Evening, Marcus. Good to see you. Just getting to your messages just now. And whoever put the treasure box in the chat, do make sure you thank them for that. It's just about to end when you claim the coins. And Debsy as well, getting to you there. Oh, it's Marcus that put it in there. Thank you for that one, Marco. And Friendly Medium as well. Where are you joining us from? Good to have you in. Joe too there. And did your lives did your lives just cross paths? They did, Kate. They very much did. And what is it? We jinxed it the other day, didn't we, for saying this? And we had a couple in like that. Exactly. And clear skies in Greenwich tonight there, Marcus. Very lucky. We had a few clouds. I was a bit worried, but it has just balanced out for all, just cleared up nicely. I'm just going to turn the brightness up slightly. It's a little bit washed out there, but we need that so we can see everything. I'm going to turn up or down the sensitivity of the tracker as well, just so hopefully it will get less of those false positives. No, that seems to make it worse. Why is that making it worse? And that one, it should be tracking. No, that is worse, but it's still not picking up the right one, so hold on. Oh, no, that's a bit too sensitive. There you go. It's getting those ones. Anyway, where did we get to in the chat? East London, Debsy. I love that. Because, yeah, that's not far from where I used to be. And got to the Canish stones are on our island there. Smaller version of Stone Henge. So, what do you feel the mainstream argument for those sorts of things like match up for you? I can't tell where I sit. I mean, I don't want to, go to conspiracy theories unnecessarily, but some people do make some compelling arguments. I don't know how I'm landing on those ones. And is that Jay Huffs as well there? What are we looking at? So this is the night sky live from Wiltshire in the UK, right in the heart of crop circle country, and we are tracking the movements, the strange objects that are moving around in the night sky. There's a lot of man-made satellites flying around up there, so we are looking for the ones that stop dead, shoot off at speed, change their course or trajectory. That tells us for sure that they are something anomalous, something we don't have an explanation for. So this software is designed to identify the movement, although it misses a couple every now and again, and basically it should go red if they do anything strange, if anything a satellite can't do. So that's what we're looking out for, them to stop dead, shoot off at speed, change their course or trajectory. Coloration and flashing can be of interest, but it is not quite as slam dunk as that movement there from North London, but in Devon there, Terry, and a nice holiday. Devon skies are pretty good, so make sure you're having a look up there as well. Want to know if you see anything there? They just did they? I didn't see it there. And what theory scares you the most? Oh, Scooter, good question. I don't know. There's quite a few equally terrifying ones, but I think it was Nick Pope. He coined the phrase, a secret too terrible to be told. And the idea that the reason we haven't got disclosure, and the reason why it's kept so tightly away from us, is because whatever the truth is, maybe we don't want to know. Maybe we are just a product of an alien experiment there, and they're getting bored of us and going to end the experiment. Maybe it's something weird. Maybe we are just in a simulation. It could be something like that we just don't want to know. I'm not sure how much I lean that way, but that is always a possibility. And Jay as well, thank you for the follow. And Mark, this is cool. I find it cool, and I'm surprised actually how many other people are open and very interested to this sort of thing as well. So we've been doing it just over a year, and we've had tens, well, actually over hundreds of thousands, if you include last summer, of people in sharing their experiences. Very interesting community of people that are interested in this. So we do appreciate you guys tapping away, sharing all of that jazz, the likes, because it helps us meet you all, and then you never know who's going to come in and what experience they're going to share, helping us all understand what might be going on in our universe. So they are piecing this puzzle together. That's a nice bright one coming in. Should we zoom in on this? Tubers, I'm almost done with the TikTok chat, and I will be back over to you guys shortly. Keep an eye on it, guys. Don't fully rely on the tracker. We're looking for the strange there. Watching from Sunny there. Love it there. Oh, was it the Gaita telescope here, waiting for a Saturn tonight there. Have you, Terry? I do love a bit of space. You don't need the aliens, but they do help. What's the best thing you've seen? It can be normal space stuff as well. Would love to hear about that. How could you put they just did that conversation about the stones? Oh my god, memory like a sieve, Kate. That was, yes, they just did that. I'd totally forgotten that one as well. Nick Pope, he has, yes, sadly sorely missed there. I think mine is the black hole theory, that we're in a black hole and that's in a black hole over and over. See, I like that one. I don't necessarily find it scary. I actually find it quite plausible. Maybe that's how universes are formed. Good evening, Skyway. How are you doing there? Do you believe in aliens? So, Casper's, yes. All the specifics, it kind of gets less so, but is alien life out there? I 100% believe, and even that is the mainstream scientific belief now. The reason they used to be a bit more on the fence about it was that we didn't know that there were planets around all of these other stars, but now we're getting the technology where we can look, we're seeing other planets, and therefore it's just a numbers game for alien life. Now, is it sentient? Is it intelligent? Is it complex? Is it able to visit us? They're all extra versions of that question. But I do think there is enough evidence out there pointing that there is something going on. In fact, the main reason why we don't have the confirmation on a public level, if we're taking away any potential conspiracy, is mostly just because the technology that we have is quite limited. We do get a lot of anomalous radio signals that appear to be technological, appear to be coming from distant stars, but due to the limits of our technology, we can't get the confirmation to say that is 100% alien. But there's lots of individual cases of this, so the more technology gets, I think it's not going to be long before it is confirmed there. And Debsy, my partner, had a strange experience last year in Colchester and has never believed the stuff. If they're up for sharing, I'd love to hear about that experience there, because this is the thing, a lot of us go along our day-to-day lives, and if life is playing out as you're told, how it works, then that's fine. But we often come along a point, doesn't even have to be the aliens, but you come along things in society, in life, our experience, and you go, wait a minute, this doesn't match up. This isn't working how people say it. And then we're compelled to find an answer based on that one. And have a watch up on the, I can always get the name wrong there, the Penrich, but it's not. It's pronounced totally differently there. Sorry to all of our Welsh audience. UFO incident Wales. I've seen some bits on it. It's very, very interesting. Absolutely crazy. But there's lots out there. There are lots of crazy stories like that. I said, this little town that we're in here in Wiltshire, it's called Warminster. It's a UFO hotspot. And I didn't know that until moving here. So you can imagine my joy, being interested in this stuff, moving to this back, going, what? This is a crazy UFO hotspot. But during the 60s and 70s, it was insane here. But we don't hear about it. We really, really should more, though. But it had everything all the time there. And what's the American woman called that believed in UFOs? She's passed as well. Oh, I don't know that one. Joe as well, thank you for the follow. And Mr. TV, the moon is orange for me tonight there. What's that about? Oh, God. I have no idea. It can all be due to, its placement and position relative to the sun, maybe our atmosphere even. I don't actually know a lot of the astronomical sort of stuff like that. Somebody in the chat will know, though, goes, why do we get the colour shades to the moon, guys? You'll know. And Terry, there's too much nothing for there to be and nothing out there. Oh, bang on. Bang on. Why do we always think that we're special? We look to Earth. Look at how many different life forms, organisms are here on Earth. There is something for every niche, every environment. Why would the universe be any different there? Unless we have a good reason to think we're special. And why do we always assume so there? Joe, Debsy, and Rio, thank you for the gifts, guys. Appreciate it. Goes back into stream. You have a phobia of small holes and black holes. The small holes, I'm totally with you there, Scooter. Totally with that one. Where are we there? Maria too there. Wow. Buenos Aires. Oh, let me see if I can translate this one. Juicy translation there, Maria. Good evening there. I cannot listen but watch. Well, I'm going to wave anyway, Maria. Good to have you in. Hello, darling. Oh, it's bollocks. It's recycling. Thank you, darling. And, Linda Martin. What? When did she go? I didn't know that. That must be very recently there. Really, Kate? They might be a relation. We've got a few of you guys with interesting family connections in. And Debsy, he was walking our dog, and he came back asking me to go outside really quick, which I did. And I need to hear the rest of this. Also hate the ocean. Part of me, yes, with that. I don't like being in it. I'm fine on a boat. Owen as well, thank you for the follow. And he said, Deb, I see there's a massive light above him, so bright. And he said it stopped him in his tracks. Sometimes he just, we see things that we just don't have the vocabulary for, but our gut tells us that it is anomalous, that it is strange there. But trying to convey that to other people, if they're not open-minded, can be very, very difficult there. And Owen, thank you for the gift as well. Very kind of you there. Because of Earth's atmosphere, they're scattering light and minerals that make up the lunar surface. There we go. So it's our atmosphere that causes those colours. Thank you, Carl, for that one. We've got some tracked objects on the screen tonight, so keep your eyes on them. Don't fully trust the tracker, but it is a good guide. So we're looking out for UFO, UAP, all of those strange and anomalous things in the night sky tonight there. Coming to you live from Wiltshire here in the UK. That was the same as Hubs' experience. So was Kate, was Hubs into it beforehand? Was he open to it, or is it after the experience? Oh, okay. Well, a bit of luck she hasn't then. You get a false alarm there, guys. She hadn't passed. False alarm. So thank you for the likes, guys. See the hearts popping up there. Is the likes and shares. That helps us reach you guys, helps us make new friends. You never know who is going to come in and what experience of the phenomena they are all going to share with us there. I'm just going to bounce back over to the tubes now and get on with your questions. But do keep saying hello, letting us know where you're watching from and asking any questions you may have. I never asked, but he was 18. He said it was super bright then, never seen anything like it. Then it suddenly disappeared into the night sky. It's haunting, a lot of this, isn't it, there? Because it poses the question, isn't it? If this isn't what the mainstream says, what else could be possible? There. Who's always open to it. I couldn't stop talking about it, but that's what we're compelled to do it. You know, that is, you know, our brain wants to find a solution to it. You never know these days, do you, Lethal? You never know. Right, where did we get to over on the tubes? We got down here, crop circles, didn't we? Down here, we got down to there. Hold on, let's just jumped ahead. We got... where are we, guys? Where did it come from? And why not a 24-hour camera at the crop circles? Amelia, I think because they're always in, not always, but most of the time in different fields, so it'd be very, really expensive to do it. But as technology gets cheaper, it's going to start happening. We're going to get that data. It's how a lot of things have been pushed over the line from rumour and from folklore into real-world scientific. So yeah, as they get cheaper, I think it's going to happen more there. And Ken, if you're enjoying the stream there, hit that like button. Thank you, Ken. We do appreciate that, guys. Where are we? Down here as well. Where is it? It's going down there. And Ollie, too. No, you're having a chat there. And Living Light. What if we're capable of the things we attribute to a secret technology there? The organic network, the way human intention shapes reality, nature communicates. May that be the most advanced tech in existence. Yeah, why reinvent the wheel if nature already allows us to do things? Science is coming around. We kind of, because of our culture, we kind of got a bit directed. We got very excited by the things that we were capable of building, you know, as machines. But a lot of the time nature does this for us, and you see it in mainstream science now, actually talking about going back to a lot of what older cultures were. Oh, there's the interactive grid. Oh, it's this one, I think. Should we zoom in on it? Because it's not being tracked. Activated. I wonder why that one didn't get tracked. Very, very interesting. But yeah, a lot of scientists specifically talking about consciousness, reality, you know, our experience, sentience, all this sort of stuff. They're using language that you would have ascribed previously to like, you know, spiritualists and stuff like that. But it's the scientific community is now coming around to a lot of these ideas there. What? Sorry, Shelley, what are you talking about there? Oh, what's this? Are some people absolutely that stupid that you can't even justify it for them? What's this one? What are you talking about there? I missed the first part of that one. And Tim as well there, are you able to tell us what the satellites are there? They might be interesting to see. So that's the next step. So we're getting the tracker. We need to get the tracker a little bit better, but this is phase one once that is done. The second step is getting the software to identify the stars that are in shot. This one here is Vega. It's 26 light years from us here on Earth, and that star is burning a lot hotter, a lot bigger, a lot brighter than our sun. It won't last as long. But once the app knows that, and then combine that with the tracked objects, we will then be able to overlay the known satellite data, you know, what they are, their altitudes and their sort of speed and stuff like that. And that'll be, I think, really interesting, because yeah, if we do get some anomalous on the screen and we can't get a track for it, you know, we can't get that data, it just gives us an extra point, doesn't it, of understanding of what might be going on up there. So hopefully soon, but it's a little bit beyond beat of the second there. And exactly. Because satellite identification application, it would be, you can do it now. You can get things like Stellarium, and there's also other ones where you can get your alignment right and, you know, look up and it will tell you a lot of the satellites. It's a bit tricky for us to use because we're always moving the camera around there. We had free heavy aircraft, flooded by a Chinook about 2 this morning there, and the whole bungalow shook. I had a few going over last night, Amanda, which we very, very rarely get. We get it over the garden, but not this low in the middle of the town. You can normally see them. But yeah, so maybe something's going on there. And Walgreen there, loving the LUH there. And Holly in Surrey, close to Gatwick there. And always lots of odd stuff going on around here. And it makes a lot of sense, actually, why airports could have like the spike in activity. If you think about this, you know, that we're sending out radio waves out into space there, basically screaming, hey guys, we're human. And we've been doing that for 100 odd years now. We've had radio as a form of technology, and you know, we've seen it in TV as tropes before, as people getting Hitler's speech, you know, and that was it 1936, so that was, you know, 90 years ago about. So 90 light years away, that everybody between us and 90 light years away, they have received that message, could know that, you know, if they've got a sensitive enough dish, although it'd be very, very hard, because television and radio signals are actually quite weak, so by the time they get really, really far out there, you need like a planet-sized dish to be able to detect them still. But yeah, so that is something we're doing. But one of our stronger signals, ones that are clearer for much, much further, is our radar, particularly airport radar. So, you know, you can imagine, like, if we were flying around in space, oh, look, we get an interesting signal from that planet. If you follow that signal to its source, you're going to boom, 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 right the way back down to an airport. So no wonder they're quite interested there. How are we doing, Chris, there? And maybe as a synth and not know it, a Sith. Be free, a good spot in the living light. UFO disappears. Sorry, I missed that one. And October the 4th, 1957, the Soviet Union Sputnik 1 was the first artificial satellite ever placed into space. And today there are so many in orbit that we can barely fly to the moon. There are a lot, and they want to put a hell of a lot more of them up there. It's crazy, the exact amount, isn't it? But yeah, Sputnik was the first one, the man-made successful one to orbit the planet. It didn't orbit that long, but again, it proved a point in principle and really shit the Americans up. So yeah, but before that, man could barely get rockets up there, you know, that high, let alone anything to stay up there in orbit. But we do have photographic plates of the night sky, or sky surveys taken by multiple observatories around the world of that period, and they can see things in these plates, just like what we're seeing tonight, those lights being reflected back down to us. So what the hell are they? I think officially they're labelled as uncorrelated targets, but we track them. We don't know what they are or where they've come from there. And Grandmaster, I am an atheist there, and I actually find the demonic theory to be the most concerning, and the thought of a biblical reality is quite frightening. That's a good point, actually. Like, if they have actually got it bang on the money, that is actually pretty shit you up scary. Good point for that one there. Pentaric, maybe. Somebody did spell it out for me, but it's just one of those ones that now I've got. Do you ever get this, guys, where you read something wrong the first time, and that is it? It is ingrained in your head as that thing. I need it beaten into me. Awesome stuff. There over 100 people watching on the tubes. Excellent, Marks, and thank you for notifying me of that one. So, guys, do make sure you are following, subscribed, whatever it is, wherever you are, because we're on every night. So, Clear Skies, it's UFO, UAP, Skywatch. So, coming to you live from Wiltshire here in the UK, right in the heart of Crop Circle Country, and just down the road from Stone Henge. So, we see lots of weird and wonderful things in these skies. Tonight is fantastically clear now. We're getting quite a good few tracks tonight. We haven't seen anything too anomalous, I don't think, yet, but that just means the good stuff is ready to happen. The skies are normally quite fruitful here. Do say hello, let us know where you're watching from, ask away any questions you may have, but do tell us if you've had an experience yourself. We'd love to hear about that one as we're waiting for the action here on screen there. And Stumu as well there, a newbie here, welcome in. Where are you joining us from there, Steve? And living like that. I found this quote there. Stop looking for a wizard behind the curtain. You are the wizard. And the curtain is just there to make you forget. We're on it. I actually living like. I would really agree. It raises an interesting point. We are always looking externally, aren't we? It seems to be our bias as a human. We're looking for the outside. Well, they're a good person, they're a bad person, rather than checking ourselves for that. You know, it's us versus nature, or look what we're doing. We are nature, we are the universe, you know, and all of this, it feels very much us and them by default, but no, we are all of those things there. I have a fear of small house. Grandmaster. It entered my head, but you guys lowered the tone. And Wargreen, the issue and fear comes from the belief that when disclosure finally happens, it will shake up the foundations of many religions and belief systems that many have there. Now flip it around for a second. What if science and maths are the closest thing we have to true religion? Not because they're based on faith, but because they are our best tools working stuff out. So that's a lot there. I like it. There have been lots of people, and I think it was the Brookings report, wasn't it, that the US government, was it NASA, did, talking about what would the impact be if disclosure came out about life out there in the universe. And the conclusion of that report was, it couldn't handle it. Society would fall apart. It caused all sorts of disruption, upset, or religions would fall apart. And I think that's absolute bollocks. Like, I don't know who they paid to do that and what they were smoking, but if you go back, that was done in the 50s. If you go back to 40 years to like 1910 or something like that, they thought at that time, in fact they even thought up into the 40s actually, that life was on Mars until we got landers and probes on the surface and we went, oh shit, like there's no intelligent life, because there is life, but there isn't, there aren't beings. But they actually believed, it was the most commonly held belief by most people, that there was, like us, intelligent, capable, sentient beings on both Venus and on Mars. And they thought they were receiving their radio messages. They thought they could see the canals on Mars, created by Martians through the telescopes. So that didn't disrupt religion, arguably a more religious time for us here in the West. So I don't know where they're smoking, where they got that one from. But there would always be friction. Anybody that holds any belief too tightly is going to have a bad time. You're not giving yourself the flexibility for interpretation and getting things wrong and all of that sort of stuff there. So there'll always be a bit of friction. But, reality is reality, and it has a habit of changing there. Science is a fantastic tool. It is a fantastic tool to understand the world. I mean, look, since, the scientific revolution, what we have. Look, we are here tonight because of the basis of science stuff there, but we have to remember that it is a tool, and just as you touch on there, because it's talking about use it as a faith. People, especially scientists, they treat it as a religion. They won't tell you this, they don't think they are, but they are heavily religious about science, and that's where the flaw comes. It is a tool. It's not appropriate in every situation. If I want to navigate the world, I need belief and I need faith. I also occasionally need to figure things out very precisely, and that's when the scientific method, can really help. But for the day-to-day stuff, you need belief and you need faith to just get on with your daily life. So they need to recognise that they're doing that. There we go. This is so that was a misidentification, the red one there, and this one will go red as well because it's got the line slightly wrong for the tracking. But look how big and bright that one is compared to all the other things. Very interesting angle there, Walgreen. Wallace. Sorry, I keep calling you Walls there. It's Wallace, isn't it? My eyes. And Grandmaster, I always thought Linda Moulton Howe was a very grifty. So am I thinking Linda Moulton Howe? I didn't get grifting vibes, but I wouldn't necessarily lean with a lot of what she was saying. And locals left baffled after a giant dragon spotted flying over Glasgow. I've not heard this one, but dragons are interesting. I will definitely go down a rabbit hole of that. Living like afraid of sharks. That's quite reasonable there. Only when you're in the water. Wallace, yes, bang on. There. And ads. Oh, it's redacted the message. Sorry, you have to try it. I think it's come through a bit later on then. Evening fella. Evening question. What is the best and strangest observation you have recorded today? We've got like a top 3, and I can't choose between them, but we had the big bright orange object, which was too big and too fast to be a satellite, but too slow and too no tail for it to be a shooting star. Really big bright orange ball. We may have seen it again the other day, actually. I need to go through the records of that one. Very interesting. Or the triangle formation. So it's 3 dots in a triangle, which there is one satellite constellation up there at the minute at least that can do that, but as it was flying over the screen, the stars behind it seemed to disappear. So it was a lower quality camera. I can't be 100% sure, but it could be the old the renowned triangular craft there from the Americans. Evening, TF, how are you doing? Ray Bradbury, why is that name ringing a bell? I've caught up over on the tube chat. Right, let me bounce back over to the TikTok. See where we got to with you guys. Again, if you're just joining us, guys, do say hello. Let us know where you're all watching from. But make sure you're following and subscribe, because we are on pretty much every night. We've got a lot of clear skies ahead of us with all of this heat wave that we're having here in the UK. But tonight, it is... oh, God, there's so much going on this part of the screen over here. Tonight it is the UFO UAP Skywatch live from Wiltshire here in the UK, right in the heart of crop circle country and just down the road from Stone Henge. So yeah, when it's a cloudy night, we do an alien radio signal hunt. We listen on the hydrogen line, the channel on the radio dial where scientists theorise that if ET is out there, that's where they'd put the message. It's where the wow signal was heard. And oh my god, it keeps jumping ahead of me, sorry guys. And if I can be bothered, the moon, we do the moon watch if the moon is up there, and we see some strange things there too. So you get those notifications when we go live, when we are. If you're following, sorry, I'm trying to find where I am in the chat. And Skyway, how are you doing tonight there? And do you believe in aliens? I did that one. Where did I get to? Scrolling down now, trying to find my place. You also hate the ocean. Yeah, Owen as well. No, I did these ones, didn't I? I'm trying to find it. Sorry, I'm trying to where I am. You were here, thank you, Kay. And Owen there is no way there isn't anything out there. It's nearly impossible for there not to be. Bang on. There is such a small set of circumstances that would have to make us special for life to not be out there. I mean, now we're looking, even within our solar system, it is looking like life could be abundant. We have got so many, like Mars. The fact that NASA has detected multiple times of active microbial life on Mars. They don't really have a good reason for not. You know, there has been many active detections of those sort of things, but that's back in the 70s. And yeah, they just won't update it. I am a big believer that there is active microbial life on Mars. Same with Venus. Again, many detections in the clouds of Venus, there could be microbial life there. So, at the very least, that proves that panspermia is a thing, which is that life can be transferred across between different bodies. And if that's the case, it's probably absolutely bloody everywhere. All pulsars and magnetars. You can't even get close to those ones. Kate coming in with the shares. I appreciate that, guys. It is the likes, the shares, the tapping away, all of that jazz. That helps us reach more and more like-minded people there, like yourselves. You never know who's going to come in and what experience with the phenomena they are going to share. Kate, Tick, and Oi, thank you for the gifts. Chelsea as well, thank you for the follow. What's the best laser pen to buy? I don't actually know. I would be open to some suggestions on those ones, guys. Not how it's been on Skinwalker Ranch. I've heard those ones. Yeah, people need to watch Skinwalker. You guys suggested that one to me like last year, like this time last year, and I started watching it. I got 3 episodes in, and then doing this every night just took all of my time, so I still haven't yet. But Skinwalker Ranch, I know probably more about it from the NIDS days than I do from the TV show days. Very interesting place. 2004, I see what looked like 3 stars moving in a triangle formation, and that was blocking the star set Skyway. Literally, you must have typed that before I had even said our one. So yeah, we appeared to have seen that one in 2004 as well. Awesome. And is that Tid as well? Thank you for the follow. Guys said if you're new here, say hello. Let's know where you're from. And Skyway, I'm in the UK there. Kept it to myself. Then a movie I know, what I saw came out, and it's exactly the same. You know what? I don't think I've actually seen the movie, but I no wonder people keep it to themselves. Like, we don't need a big government conspiracy and the Men in Black to kind of keep this thing under wraps. There, social stigma, self stigma, and all this sort of stuff. There will definitely keep us quiet. We don't need the big people. We're keeping the stick over our heads there. And Lane as well coming in with the shares there. Barry, thank you for the follow. And Damien there as well. Where are you at? So we are in Wiltshire in the UK, right in the heart of crop circle country. And where do we get to? Here, there. And was that Mr. Bojangles?
Nom.
Thank you for feeding Alan. Where are you out there, Damien? Have you seen anything strange? And been reading up on satellites and didn't know China has a space station orbit low Earth. It does. Is it Chang'an? I always forget to consider Chang'an when we're tracking things there. And Richie, anything interesting tonight? You know what? I don't think so. I don't think we've had any anomalies tonight. There was one thing you guys were saying that I think I might have missed. Drewski is in. How are we doing? Chang'an, China's permanently inhabited space station orbiting a low Earth orbit. I wonder how big it is compared to the ISS there. Probably not much bigger there. And Damien there would love to come out and do this. Well, hopefully we are going to at some point do a meetup for our crew. So it'll be like an overnight thing somewhere locally here. We're still thinking of all the activities and what plans we do, but then part of that would be like a Skywatch together that we can also stream. Shandy and Damien as well, thank you for the follows, guys. See, a lot of things close up there flying about, and I get the feeling I am being watched. Lots of people do, and you know what? I don't think it's just in people's heads with that, because there are a lot of the times that, you know, they'll have these experiences, even though these objects are at quite some distance sometime they're seeing, that they'll get their camera out and then the thing will fuck off. It's as if it knows. You know, it's as if it knows there. And Mr. Bodrangles as well. Thank you for feeding Alan again. But yeah, it's as if it knows. It feels like there is a connection there. Can you move the equipment to be looking north? Sadly, north we can't do, because that's basically my roof. So we get most of my roof, but also the more of the town is that way, and it's just too light polluted. So our window is basically southwest to southeast, sort of like a good arc that way. And Drewski, well, science was created by religion. It was actually. They actually think that it was the monotheism, so the idea of one God, basically, kind of helped train our brain to the idea of thinking of one thing could be responsible for everything. You know, it kind of focused, and the monotheistic, you know, religions there. So Christianity, wasn't it, at the time there? That then the next step was science. For that. Sorry guys, where did we get to with that? Tick there. I am watching on the Tube's projector there, but you can't type it in there. Like, hey, well, at least I can still see you here. That's the pro move, guys. People put the YouTube on the big screen, the horizontal there, or project it, and then they're in the chat on the phone. So, guys, if you're on the vertical, if you're over on the TikTok, we look like this over on the Tube, so it's definitely worth checking out. Less of my face, more of the night sky, and all sorts of other contextual analysis going on. And it's normally a little bit more stable as a connection goes. So make sure you're following and subscribed for those. Where did we get to? Sorry, not science, but universities studying science. No, science itself. The what do they call it? Not the illumination. I want to say it's not the illumination. The Illuminati's conspiracy. It was. Oh, what do they call it? There was a time, wasn't it? Yeah, that something illumination along those lines when they studied it in secret. But I think, yeah, it trained the mind for it there. But you're right, with universities comes from monks studying the books. The idea that there would be a walled garden, so people could just focus on study. They didn't have to worry about being fed, fighting, famine, relationships, anything like that. These little walled gardens, and that's why a lot of the older universities look like, especially sort of the Cambridge and Oxford ones, they actually look a little bit like the monasteries with the cloister walks and things like that. They are literally designed to be little Edens there to keep people's focus on learning. Where are we? Down here as well. Promise you haven't been near Glasgow recently. We don't believe you, Kate. I see the video, but if it's AI, it looks amazingly real. Wait a minute, what was that? Oh, that was the dragon one. You just don't know these days, but you never know. I think that, you know, we can't write everything off. I mean, everybody comes on and goes, oh, those strange things you're seeing, they're all just satellites. It's like, well, that's lazy. And again, AI is going to be the new catch-all for this. For the people, then it's fine if they don't want to look more. If they don't want to put their time, effort, resources into exploring the question, fine. But they're never going to find treasure, you know? So, as well... And Kraken, how are we doing tonight there? I need to check out this dragon vid. And Oyo there just got in from Skywatching, and I saw some awesome green shooting stars there. One looked like a firework. We haven't seen any tonight, I don't think. But we should do, because we are in the middle of the season there. And Neptuno there, a factor. Those are not UFO. Those are satellites. Neptuno, not all of them. That's the question. A lot of them, and most of them are satellites. There are a hell of a lot of man-made satellites up there in the night sky. If there were this many UFOs, I'd be worried. But what we're doing, this is why it's a hunt. We're looking out for the ones that act a little bit strangely. Again, it's a lot rarer, obviously. But we are looking for the ones that stop dead, shoot off at speed, change their course or trajectory. That tells us for sure that they're not a UFO. Satellites just can't act like that. And that's why we're tracking them along. So if they're green, they are probably just a man-made satellite. You know, it's not doing anything that gives it away for us there, that gives us any evidence that they are doing anything strange. If it goes red, then it's either a misidentification or it is telling us that something strange could be going on with them. But the majority of them will be man-made satellites, space junk, all of those sorts of things. And Ace there, I swear I've just seen something fly past on a BMX there. Anything in the front basket at all? Was it Alan like that riding past? And Tone as well, Troll. Good to have you in. Where are you joining us from tonight? And Manny there. If I shined a laser, would you see it? Well, it depends how powerful the laser is and how far away you are from us. Yeah, if you're close enough, you know, there's a chance. And my daughter has just seen the 3 lights in a triangle too. That's mad. It is, isn't it? Like when sometimes these things line up. There is, I said, a satellite formation like that. I think it's a gravitational wave detector, basically. We've seen that a few times. But if it blocks out the stars behind it, very anomalous, it implies there's a solid structure there, and therefore you're making me think TR3B. And laser pens, you can get to ones that go hundreds of miles up in the sky. That is crazy nowadays. I remember like the early ones that we had. You know, you'd go on the keyring and stuff like that, and then later on the ones you'd use for laser targeting and stuff. I had a few of those, probably still got them somewhere, but I haven't played with it in a while. And Club Heart as well, thank you for the follow. That's a nice bright one. Should we zoom in on this one?
Zoom mode activated.
Again, it's not doing anything that is telling us that it is strange. It is travelling at a consistent speed and on a consistently straight line. It has got the line ever so slightly wrong, so it might go red as that deviates a bit further. That is the tracking's fault. Yeah, see, just like this one. Yeah, there we go. But yeah, it's not doing anything strange. So keep a look out. Again, it's stopping dead, shooting off at speed, changing its course or trajectory. That is what is really, really interesting for us. So hopefully we're going to see some of that tonight. Flashing and coloration can be of interest, but they're not quite slam dunk because man-made objects can do that. But you get in this weird middle ground. Like when you do this for a while, you've seen every which way variation, all of the seasonal changes and all of that sort of stuff there. And then you go, wait a minute, what is that? It looks different. And sometimes you'll see these variations just like as a one-off. And what are the explanation there? Where did Mark. Like, honestly, I would second that one, but the problem is we're in the minority of that. We have to have that one. Where is it? And RJ as well. Hello from the from Dominican there. I am from the UK on holiday there. Try not to miss your lives there. And it's 7 o'clock here. Oh, that time difference there. How are the skies over there? I'd love to hear what you can see. If you have any pictures, thank you RJ for tuning in there. Jimmy too and Mr. Churro as well. Thank you for the follows there. Bay as well. Good. Thank you for the shares. Appreciate that. And where are we? Down in the chat. Where are we? Down for B4 untracked. Good spot in there. Lethal. I wonder why we're getting so many. I've had to turn the sensitivity down on the tracker because we're getting a lot of atmospheric interaction. If I zoom in, you can see these stars tonight. They're still jumping, which is setting off a lot of false positives. So I've got to turn the sensing down. But there are some that you go, how has it tracked that, but not tracked, you know, some of the others that appear to be brighter there as well. Where did we get to? Oh, it's jumped ahead of me now. I can't see where we got to. Hopefully I haven't missed anybody there as well. M to the C, how are we doing? And Joanne, so many satellites over the past 5 years. I've never seen so many. We are now living at a time when it is the most that was up there. It was only a few years back that I saw a documentary and they went, there are 1,000 man-made satellites up there in space. And you go, well, that's a luxury. There's now like 15 to 16,000 or something along those lines. It's since SpaceX, they've really sorted out, you know, cost to launch and getting things up there in the night sky. And they want to put a hell of a lot more up there. So it's only going to get busier. I also hate the ocean, the pulsars and magnetars. The space is a weird beast there. And that's, you know, what we can understand of there. And where are we down here? The best laser pen I found is 500 miles. Jesus. That is ridiculous, isn't it? Ridiculous there. Got full cloud coverage. Kate, make sure you keep those clouds. I was a bit worried when we came on. It was looking particularly cloudy. Where did we get to over on the tubes? Bounced back over here. We got to TF being in, didn't we? How are you doing there? Martian Chronicles, the canals. So I haven't seen that, but yeah, the canals, it was actually a mistranslation that people thought there were canals up there. So it was an Italian astronomer, what was his name, that discovered these lines on the Martian surface for his telescope of the time. And the translation was, it was canali, which, you know, but in Italian, we think is canal isn't technically, you know, we think man-made water structure, but canal in Italian, canali is more varied. That just means like you know, could be a riverbed or something like that cut through. So when we got the translation through, we're like, oh, man-made canals on Mars, and that kind of stuck it off there. But it's probably why the War of the Worlds radio play did the effect that it did, because if people didn't think life was out there, they would be a little bit more skeptical. They wouldn't be so quick to jump to, oh my god, this is real, you know. It sounds similar to the red orb being chased by the F-15s you mentioned last night. Now, that was a cool one there. Barry, have you missed anything there? No, nothing major tonight. Nothing major. Just some cool stories from people coming in sharing their experiences. The fastest I ever swam in my life was when I was fleeing from a black tip reef shark. Jesus, that sounds like you've had quite the adventure. That one. How are we doing? A up. You've made it home safe. I like that. Did your Allens miss you? And I have. Is that Dior there? I have two footages, one of 10 seconds and the other for 2 minutes and 30 seconds. They're taken from your backyard. Oh, what sort of things? Describe it. We want to hear those. And if you want to post links to them, if you want to join our Discord, link in bio for that one. Great little community. Our personal experiences section is a great place for that. And then people that are in our community that aren't on the stream tonight will be able to see those as well. They'll definitely appreciate that. Where is that? But then that makes the Fermi paradox there. What was that for? The issue is the when, not the where. Oh, Wallace, you're quite right actually with that. So we often talk about space, don't it? Like, is there life out there? Is it on this planet here? Could it reach this distance? But the main thing that we miss in those conversations is it all around at the same time? So there is a chance that life an intelligent life could be fleeting, could just be weird wisps before it burns itself out. So therefore, over these really, really, really long time spans of the universe, do we all exist anywhere near each other, or does it just one civilization there and one civilization there? And honestly, we don't know. Like, we have so limited data to say anything with confidence. I would think if life is as abundant as it is starting to look, though, I think that is that a faint shooting star? Just where's my cursor? Down there. I would think it's probably going to be everywhere, and I think it's going to probably be close enough, especially if things like warp drives are a possibility. Then that just collapses the distance issue, so you don't need a close by intelligent civilization. They can traverse the vast distances, and warp drives might sound very Star Trek, very sci-fi, but they are not necessarily that. They are perfectly plausible. They just need a lot of energy, and that's why it's theoretical, but it doesn't break physics to our understanding. And science... Ooh, where's it gone? Sorry, guys, it's just jumping ahead. Where is it gone? Scientists... sentient life. We would have to look at galaxies newer to ours, as an older civilization would have passed. Well, that's if they do burn out. That's the question, because we're making a lot of assumptions with these things. I don't think we have the data. I think it's quite perfectly plausible that these things could be fleeting, but they think about the Fermi paradox. Where is all the life? We are actually seeing lots of indicators. Now, no one piece of evidence is enough to singularly prove it, but there is individual clues. There is a lot of these anomalous radio signals that are detected. There are a lot of those anomalous biosignatures in the clouds, or in the atmospheres, I should say, of all of these distant planets. Again, it's a limit of our technology to be able to confirm it, but it is looking like it could be alive. Mr. X is in. How are you there? And Phoenix as well. We have never been alone in the universe. Civilizations have risen and fallen long before we came about. Yeah, we're late to the party. We're about midway through. We're not special in any way, shape, or form. And correct, we have many variations of us throughout history there, repeating ourselves, definitely. I like this ship, and we like having you on board. And speaking of ship, actually, you reminded me, we won't keep it on the screen for long, because we don't want to distract from the night sky, but what I'm about to show you is the Starship Allen. So especially on those quieter radio signal streams during the winter, we bring this up, and it's our little ant farm. It brings in all of you guys who are our Patreon members, brings in your image and your name, and then kind of puts you in our virtual starship, and it's quite hilarious to watch you guys. Alan's on there, and there's a probing room, so watch out. So there we go. Have a look at this. It takes a second to load, but yeah, look, you can see yourself. Can you zoom in? Alan is the green pinging dot, and who's in the probing room at the second? There's a few people around there. Carl looks like he's on the bridge. The transporter room actually works now, guys, as well. So if you do want to join the Starship Allen, it's free. You just got to sign up to the Patreon. And again, it's the free tier. We'll get you in on that one, and you can see yourself appear on screen. And you can also load it up for yourself. As well, Mr. Bojangles, thank you again for all of the gifts there. And good evening from Ken. Good to have you. Have you ever seen anything strange in those skies? There were civilizations on Earth before us. The Silurian hypothesis, isn't it, is that if there was a different civilization, intelligent civilization, long enough ago on Earth, would there be any evidence for it? And the answer is that not likely. Very unlikely on Earth there would be any evidence for that one. I think it's like radiation is basically it, the only thing that can survive, you know, with the weather and erosion and the surface of the Earth, you know, and what do they call it, the old plate tectonics, recycling things. There could well have been. And I again, if we look to how life is, if I leave a half-finished cup of tea on my windowsill and I forget about it for a week, I'll come back, there will be life there. I think the universe is going to be the same. So that is over space, but also over time. You know, it looks to that life was here on Earth as soon as it could, as soon as it cooled down enough. In fact, earlier than they first suspected. It wasn't a random chance, it just appeared. So I think it's always flying around out there, and it's always very interesting. You know, it's going to be life probably everywhere. That's my belief. That's my default for it. And living like that, I think we live in such a fantastic, exciting times, fantastically exciting times. Bang on. Or in what other era would it perhaps be more exciting? Do you think it's relative though? Like, you know, you think of the progression in the Victorian era to them. Did that seem absolutely amazing? I do think though, I mean, but you know, because it's exponential, it definitely is absolutely crazy. I remember not having the internet. I remember when that came in, I was about 10, 11 when the internet became like a publicly known thing, and they used to have computer rooms in schools, and all the computers in the computer room were provided by the Tesco's vouchers. Remember that? You'd collect the vouchers, give them to your school, and they could collect free computers for it. But yeah, there was one computer that had the internet there, and the rumours of, you've been on the internet, what was it like? Absolutely crazy times there. And what happened to the Sumerians, Wallace? I'm really interested by all those ancient cultures. I don't need like big explanations for the wiping out necessarily, you know, like I think, you know, as humans and the weather, we can do wondrous things, or the opposite of wondrous. You know, we don't need, you know, conspiracies or aliens necessarily to see the end of cultures. We do a good job ourselves. But the Sumerians I do find incredibly interesting, and their story isn't unique. A lot of these stories are very, very similar. And TF, our religion has been diluted through the millennia, that the truth is more mythic than history. I think it has, but I also don't think it has because of necessarily malicious purposes, although I do think that goes on. But what happens over time is that stories get told, and the unnecessary part of the story gets stripped away. And it turns out that, you know, the better the story is, the better that information is preserved over a longer period of time. You know, certain stories are always true. If you think about some of the Greek stories that we hear, the ancient ones, they are just transcendent. They've been passed down for generations. They've been slightly adapted, but the core of the message is there. So if we're talking about, if you wanted to convey to future generations, so like, you know, nuclear physics, you could try and physically preserve the scientific papers, right? But whatever medium you chose, that's probably going to get lost, going to get worn away there. It turns out the best way to do it is going to be through narrative and through story, through the people repeating that story. But you wouldn't be able to just sit down by the campfire and pass this story on, reading out a scientific paper word by word, and hopefully your kids are going to remember that and pass it down. You have to again put it in narrative format there, and you won't get all of the details, but you will get the gist of it. You know, maybe it'll be a story about glowing rocks that are actually hot or something. You know, don't have them too close to you. But there are interesting ways that we transfer information over millennia. Or did they arrive, hang for a bit, and then leave? Wallace, that for me, I do find quite interesting. The idea that we could be, all of our Earth culture could be the result of sort of an earlier experience that we've been trying to interpret ever since there. The cargo culture idea is, I bang on, really interesting there. And MJS are there. Good to have you in from Bracknell. How are your skies tonight there? Off planet another timeline, could well be. And I think, to be honest, there most of the humans that made it through the bubble of what we have, they left our planet a long time ago. I could well have. Who was it? Is it Sagan? I always get Sagan and the other one confused there. Arthur C. Clarke and Carl Sagan. So I think it's Arthur C. Clarke. He was basing it on the Drake equation there, thinking of how many, in the last billion years, how many times, might have been less than that, it's a nice bright one, how many times the last billion years would Earth have been visited?
Zoom mode activated.
Considering how likely life is out there. And he was on to like 10,000 times, basically, that Earth has probably been visited 10,000 separate times. Oh, that's a nice bright one too. Look at all the action going off here, guys. Very interesting. We need to see it stop dead, shoot off at speed, change its course or trajectory. That tells us for sure that it is something a little bit stranger. And there is too much coincidence in the myths of other civilizations on Earth about the great. Exactly, Phoenix. Exactly. The Enlightenment, like that is what the word I was searching for. The Enlightenment, yeah, that period. You know, it was a product of religion rather than adjacent to it, I think. And Richard Hoagland found Stone Henge area closely mirrors Cydonia on Mars. There many landmarks line up there. A rabbit hole. Oh, Ollie. Now that does sound right up my street, because we're from that area, and Cydonia is very interesting. I wasn't sold for a long time on the you can see the stuff on the surface of Mars, because we didn't really have good images for a long time, other than the face. But there is stuff now with high resolution footage that you go, fucking hell, lads, what the hell is that? That is a cylinder. That ain't no messing around. There even as well might be they're detecting basically this growing black mass on the surface of Mars. And I think it was Arthur C. Clarke again as well thought that there were signs of large biological structures on the surface of Mars. And again, very well respected scientist there as well. From Malmesbury in Wiltshire there, Phoenix. I've got a friend who lives in Malmesbury. I still got his house there as well. How are you doing? How is Malmesbury tonight? And get a visit from the men in black there. How I don't think we could get on there bother enough. There are some really great creators out there now. We live in such an amazing time where people are doing some real good journalism, bringing in new angles, new thoughts, you know, coming up with new evidence. I think they're the ones who get the knock on the door there. And TF, wormholes and anti-gravity, I think has been around since the beginning. Long ago there, 200 million years. It could well have been discovered periodically. It's like nuclear physics. That always existed. We just wasn't aware of it. You know, cavemen didn't know all of the things to even bet it, but it was always possible. And I think all these things, you know, could have been picked up by past and previous cultures. I think anti-gravity has probably actually been around since the 50s. There was this time when, you know, all of the scientists, all of the universities were publicly talking about anti-gravity being the next big thing, and they were on the cusp of a discovery. Then it all went silent, which is not normally how scientific theories go. They fade out there. You get more and more negative results, more people get bored, get disenfranchised, they leave over time. But this went bump from very high profile to nothing, which makes you think, doesn't it? Maybe they discovered it and discovered something and put it behind all of the layers of secrecy are there. And oh, is this? You're over on the tubes. How are you doing? In syntax, there may be thousands of different sentient intelligent species in our galaxy, not just a handful that people most commonly talk about there. The variety of UFO sightings over the years could explain that. And I think if there's going to be one intelligent species out there, there's going to be more. That's just how it works. And if one can visit us, the technology is definitely possible. So there will be more. Now, maybe one in particular is going to be more responsible for what we experience and what we label and discuss. That makes sense. Maybe a big disproportionate amount is, the greys, because they're a particularly curious species, whereas others maybe just don't care, or maybe they've got better things to do. But I think, like you just look to Earth. The one case study that we do have, how the diversity of just species of organisms there, but also in their temperaments, what they do, what they want to do, how they act, how they interact. And in our galaxy, we are way out in the boonies there when considering the centre, and it would be like looking for us billions of miles away there, only by accident, if I think we can be found. Well, there are a lot of things, aren't there, in the galaxy to be looking at there, but there are certain little clues that give us away and have done for a while. But again, if we're not rare, then maybe they're just looking at other places and stuff. But there's been a lot of time for them to discover us. It's that time of the night when TikTok has a sulk. Let's let it recover. But yeah, it could be part of it. Is it obscurity through like mass? There's just so many out there. In fact, a recent study has found over 6,000 of our sibling stars. Normally, there's a much less stars are formed in their stellar nursery, but over 6,000. So maybe there's a lot of life out there, and they're just distracted with that. Hey up there, yeah, they missed me there. They weren't impressed. I didn't buy them the present. You didn't get them the duty-free arseless chaps there. I up for them, the miniature ones. And syntax around the edges is where life is probably abundant in the galaxy. They think the inner galaxy is going to be just too chaotic, too many supernovas, too close by, not going to be stable enough for life, based on our current assessment. But our star, again, is an interesting one, because we are out in the suburbs, in the safer bit, but we've got a complex star. All the ISS is going to be too low on the horizon for us, sadly, tonight, so we won't need to to worry about that one. But yeah, it's a more complex star, which needs other stars to have died to produce the heavy metals for then our star to form with a more complex makeup. So they're normally found in the older part, in the middle. So why is our star that should be in the middle on the outside? And why has it got so many siblings? You know, maybe there is maybe that does go towards the case that we could be a little bit special. And 100% there, TF there. And galaxies are being made new all of the time there. A billion years from now, there will be others doing what we're doing now. Yeah, I think what we're seeing, you know, we are not special as well. And Syntax, you're in the shuttle bay. You could spot yourself. I'll bring it back up again in a minute there. And living like they're coming there. Childlike approach is a good, I assume there, because a child wouldn't be afraid but run towards the landing site with open arms and 1,000 questions there. Did you bring snacks? But maybe a bit of childlike joy is what we needed. I'm always reminded of that scene in Independence Day when all of the people, the UFO fans, are on the roof with a big sign saying "Welcome, space visitors," and then they get blown up first. It's always in the back of my mind, though. And Wallace, so let's talk about entanglement theory. Oh my god, we're getting into quantum physics. It hurts my brain, but it is fascinating there. You can't talk about entanglement theory. There's only one answer. Is this Fight Club there? Oh, the Acorn BBC Micro. Do you remember the A and B switches, or that plastic turtle that you'd program that would walk from A to B? The distance doesn't matter. Well, it doesn't if you've got a warp drive, but it is a bit of a catch-all. But it doesn't break physics, does it? It just needs a hell of a lot of energy. Two particles become connected so deeply that they act as a single system. Yeah, so I mean, we're getting into the quantum world. And it's very interesting, isn't it? We can't actually transfer information yet via entanglement, but quantum tunneling is an interesting one as well. Entangle leads to quantum computers. And Acorn went on to create ARM, which... Did they really? How? Did they... I didn't know that. That is quite cool. Built-in concept, so that was the ones there. Amstrad, what did we have? An Amiga something or other. Oh my god, how many is on stream? Is that 6 on stream at the minute? Where are we down there? Faster than the speed of light. It appears to be instant. And no subscribers, how are you doing there? We have the technology to store data now. That can last millions of years, and it's done with encoding synthetic diamonds. So I've heard a little bit about this. And yeah, apparently. But the diamonds as well, they won't naturally deteriorate on their own, suppose through weathering, but obviously they're still subject to being smacked in an asteroid or lost or, you know, reincorporated into the ground and stuff like that. So I think it's a good step forward. But apparently putting it in DNA, putting it in the life, you know, because that's able to adapt to certain environments might be a good way of doing it. But I've heard about water holding information as well, which kind of blows your mind. And adds there, just a thought, if any intelligent superior life out there live in a parallel universe they could have created, they may well be standing right next to us there, observing us without even knowing. Well, that also touches onto the dimensional angle, doesn't it there? You know, we only perceive 3 spatial dimensions and 1 temporal dimension, but many branches of science thinks there's a hell of a lot more. They can't agree on how many more, but there may be more ways of interacting in this same space. We may not be seeing everything, and a big part of the phenomena could well be that. That is something that really does get my brain going. Love the bigger picture. I think the Tubes is much better. It's worth checking out. And TikTokers, I will be over to you guys shortly, just finishing up the chat here on the Tubes. And only if they were on the same frequency, see, possibly. And where are we down there? Watching for sure there. Probably a popcorn and soft drinks there. They're waiting for the latest episode of Earth. And ghosts, maybe science that we haven't found out yet. TF, I think, not to say that necessarily ghosts and aliens are the same thing, but I think the part that explains that is going to be the same as the UFO stuff. You know, that big gap in our current understanding is going to be what, you know, when we do get around to measuring it, observing it, and, you know, monitoring it for science, then that, I think, is where all the answers are going to lie for all of those sorts of things. And maybe that explains why people are seeing in the paranormal world, and are they ETs? You look back at a lot of what people report, and there is overlap. There is a lot of overlap there. And Micah there, 0 point energy. So this touches on it. You know, if energy wasn't an issue, then we could build a warp drive and wormholes and things like that. The energy is the problem. But if there is 0 point energy, as we're often talked about in the phenomena, but also this theory that there is just an energy field that you can tap into, which is basically the same thing. It's been mentioned 1,000 times because it kind of almost should be there. Science kind of keeps coming around going, but there should be an ether, lads. There should be an energy field. And then they test it and they go, I can't find it. It doesn't exist. But they're coming back round to it again, science. They're going, maybe we're just not looking in the right way. So maybe there is, but it's going to be dangerous. Could well have been around since the beginning there, and just not us being not intelligent, they're too greedy to let it be free. Maybe, but I think we've got to learn these things. You take a toddler, the most selfish little things that there are. They have to learn, don't they? And I think we're at that sort of stage in our development. And did you see the Bob Lazar documentary? What do you think? How? I did. I liked it. I do like Bob Lazar, but I did actually come away. I came away like, that's really interesting, and got loads more information, which I thought was really cool. But then I also had a few questions from it as well. I was like, Not saying, Bob's lying or anything, but I did have, I've got more questions. I'm hoping, because they did say they were going to release the S4 map that they made for the film, because it's made in a video game engine, so we could all see it. They're going to release it as a 3D experience. I want to get some goggles, plug you guys in, and we can go for an explore of S4 together. I thought it was pretty cool. What did you guys think? Right, bouncing back over to the TikTok. Where did we get to? In the chat. Where did we get to? Got to there, didn't we? I think. I got to M to the C. Where did we get to? 500 miles laser pen, and that is ridiculously for that distance on that laser pen. I'd be too tempted to use it though around here. Drewski, you got to head off there. Thank you for joining us, Drewski. Good to see you as always. And EXO, 10,800 Starlinks now. God, and that's just going to be the tip of the iceberg, isn't it, really? I think they were talking about 40,000, and then he got the idea about the data centers up in space and the AI processing. So it's going to be like 100,000. It's going to be absolutely crazy there. And Buck, is this a real life sky? Yep, this is the sky live from my garden. Camera pointed up there, and yeah, we can actually move it around, which I might actually do. Let me turn the tracker off for a second. I'm going to move it around so we get Vega more in shot. Hold on to your hats. Yeah, this is a live camera of the night sky here, live from Wiltshire in the UK, right in the heart of crop circle country, and just down the road from Stone Henge. So do say hello, let us know where you're watching from. I'm just trying to find my place again in the TikTok chat, and I'll be reading through your messages, and then I'll go back over to the tubes. But to there, didn't we? How are you doing, Buck, if you're still in there? And doing this all night, Scooter Boy. So we'll normally do it to about 1, so we'll see how we get on there. And Earth is fully covered in them. It really is. But imagine they're not actually quite large, most of these satellites. So even if you took 10,000 of these things and you laid them side by side, it wouldn't actually take up a lot of surface. There still is quite a large gap between them. I didn't notice that you're going back to the other chat. No worries, Kay. And Million as well there. Thank you for the follow. Where are you in from tonight? And why is there a green box beside your name? I have no idea on that one. Oh, is that what it is? Yeah. What's the... where are we down there? And the Luniverse, what camera are you using? So it's a Sony A7 there, but the trick is the lens. It's just a Chinese lens, so I can't never remember the name of it to there. And welcome aboard. Thank you for the follow. And R4 had a couple on a bit later tonight there. Look at that sky. It is absolutely alive. We're getting into our best part of the season, guys. So later July and then into August, and that is when we really, really kicked off. Our best sightings like last year were at that sort of time. There. And where are we? Down the road there. Whoa, hang on. Just went straight off this course. I didn't see that one. Damn it, R4. Don't think just make a left turn. Did you guys spot something? Oh, did we get a timestamp on that one? It's all right. These are recorded, so we'll check that one out there. What's that? Bloody cursor. I can't even get it on screen. Is it just on the edge? We've got one there that's not being tracked. Sydney as well, thank you for the follow. Where are you in from? Oh, you screenshotted it there, so I'll try and have a look after that. Thank you, Kate, for that one. Always on the ball with that. Where did we get to? Did it jump ahead, that one? See, if it did make the left turn there, the interstellar handbrake turn, then that is slam dunk anomalous. That is full on UFO territory there, but we'll have to review the footage for that one. Where are we going? Where did we get down to? Over on the TikTok? No, we got done TikTok. We're going to go back over to the YouTube. If Bob came up with that there, he deserves a medal, so it's probably true. I think there's lots that do point that way, but there was a few things with the design of S4 that made me go like that. So there. It reminds me of the parody quote from Signs. Oh, what was that one there? I love how he called it the sport model. Yeah, there were some interesting things about that. What was it? Is it Amy Eskridge, that the scientist, one of the scientists there that could be involved in something that's passed, and she said that Bob Lazar got it right but got it round the wrong way with the idea that element 115 was the fuel that gave it its anti-gravitic properties. Actually, that was the waste product. And I thought, well, that was interesting, an interesting take on all of this. Haven't heard that before. And something like either it's the biggest, most well-organised hoax of the history of everything, or it's true. Yeah, he's done a very good job if it is a hoax there, but it also doesn't have to be binary. He could have been set up in various ways to, and I don't think all of it, but he talks about this himself, like when he's talking about the material that he read, where he got like the backstory, the history on the aliens, he says that they would obviously purposely put wrong things in there, so if he leaked it, they would be able to trace it back. It's called passage material. So the idea is that for 5 different people, there'll be slightly 5 different versions. So they'd all say that they're aliens from Zeta Reticuli, they'd all say that they're aliens, but for one person it would be they're 5,000 light years away. From the other person it would be 3,800 light years away. From other person it'd be 20 light years away, etc. So if they're ever leaked, they'll be 20 light years on the news. That was Bob, when you can trace it back. So there might be elements of it that were, structured around it. But either way, if any part of it was true, it was incredibly, just totally changed the game, doesn't there? Either is equally worrying, exactly. And Walker and Lazar, both with different experiences, yet still have the same small, great alien story. Walker, which one's Walker? What was their story? And Syntax well, if there is advanced intelligent life, it's probably conquered most diseases and increased its lifespan, and also biohacking, maybe reaching 1,500 years old. It could well be the case. You would think so, wouldn't it? That maybe it's transcended like the need for biological bodies. Like there was that whistleblower that we read the story, didn't we, of them from the story, their account that they claim to be true. They claim to be a biological. Oh my God, I'm getting tired now. Summit biologist, microbiologist, something to do with your biology essentially, and they were say they worked on the Greys basically, and that after reviewing it they came to the conclusion, they explained why, and it all sounded very correct, that they thought they were biological robots, which I found very interesting. It seems like Bob Lazar has given a genuine account of what went on and when he was working and involved with the unknown craft there. They sure tried to cite, well, that is always another little indicator for me. It's those adjacent things. And that's Sean there. Do you know the YouTube channel Plant Abundance? No, I've not heard that. What do they cover? Is that UFO stuff as well? And if you read the Book of Kings, way back in our past, we used to live for thousands of years at a time. Isn't there something again the biblical like that, or was it or was it in the Sumerian stuff where we used to live a lot longer, and as sort of a punishment they fixed our life span. It was like 120 years max or something. That's providing that we have all the resources to do it. But yeah, our lives are limited, aren't they, by the number of telomeres on is it in our DNA or is it on our cells? Essentially each telomere is a recharge or a refresh for the cell. Once they run out, they can't no longer, and that's what happens with aging. The hand scanner Lazar describes it to was proved to exist with a photo. There's a few things as well, wasn't it? Like the road going up to the facility as well was on earlier maps, and then as soon as Bob Lazar came out, the week later they updated the official records and removed it. Something along those lines. And some turtles can live to 300 years. Oh, sharks are like 500 years or something, aren't they? They found ridiculous ones there. What was the other? Is it lobsters that in theory can, if they're not killed, they can go on just forever? They don't have the same issue there. And given the large number of satellites there, shouldn't there be a space debris floating around up the two? Oh, there is a lot, but it's the size of it, and the shape of it as well. Because if it's like imagine a crumpled up ball of paper, isn't necessarily going to be very reflective because the little parts are all pointing in different ways, so it hasn't got a large surface area. So if you've got weird shaped stuff, again, it's not going to be as bright. And if it's smaller than a satellite, then again, it's not going to be as reflective. So there's going to be a hell of a lot up there. There's even going to be full-on satellites up there that we just don't see. They're not at the right position relative to the sun to reflect that light back down to us here on Earth. And Sean, please check out Plant Abundance there. He's a garden YouTuber who also records the sky with some strange videos. And his latest is just 8 minutes their video there of the whole sky from his garden. It's all moving. I'll have to check it on out there, Sean. Thank you for the heads up there. Scanner would explode if it tried to attract the sky in his video. This is the thing. This is the amount that we're seeing. And it's based on our position, our latitude, and it's where the sun is at this time of year, combined with how much light that the lens is letting in. This is by no means a full picture. There are going to be more up there. We just aren't getting that light back down here to see them there. And Greenland shark has been found to live for 500 years, and that's just the ones that we've found, isn't it there? Pay homage to the late great Sam Neill there and his role in Event Horizon. Oh my God, what is not wrong? I was actually shocked for Sam Neill. Was he so young? Well, I don't think he was that young, but he was still young. I wasn't expecting that one. It's a very shame. Event Horizon, brilliant film. I got excited because you guys said that there was going to be a sequel, but apparently it's a comic book sequel, and I'm like, damn, I want a sequel. Going to bounce quickly back over to the TikTok. Ben is in the house. How are we doing? Chromie as well. Thank you for the gifts as well. If I missed any there, appreciate those guys. Gifts to subs, to patrons, to members, all that jazz goes back into the stream. And as well, TikTok as well coming in with the shares. It is the likes, the shares, guys, the tapping away, all of that stuff there that helps us reach more and more like-minded people there, like yourselves. And so the more eyes and minds we get on the old phenomena, the more we can all piece this puzzle together. And God of War 4 was fantastic, and it was perfection. Oh, I don't know that one. And Amanda there feeding Alan.
Nom, thanks, guys.
And Sean as well. Incredibly generous super chat there. That is, that's Sean. That is incredibly kind of you there. Thank you so much for that. I do appreciate you there, and I appreciate your knowledge and your sharing of that as well. Massive appreciation. As it all goes back into the stream as well, help us improve what we do. So we're currently, guys, we're saving up to take the show on the road to do a UK UFO hotspot tour. So we do the local hill forts around here, locally where there has been a history of sightings. We have a little mobile rig. We take you guys with us, the show on the road, but we want to do a UK hotspot tour, kicking it off with Rendlesham Forest. So Starlink is on our list. So all these satellites that we're seeing now, we're going to need to use them to connect to. But yeah, that's what it's all going into at the second. So very much appreciate that, Sean. And welcome to our little community. We hope to see more of you as well. Where are we? Back to the chat over on the TikTok. Scooter there. I want to talk about, I don't know, something you're bored. Well then, Scooby. Wrong one for you there. You got to be patient. Where are we? Down here as well. Oh, Scooter. To be fair, yeah, I couldn't see. It looks like Scooby from here, my eyes. Scooter there as well, because we've got Scooby on the other side, sorry. Where are we with that? Yeah, you got to listen to Kate there. Where are we? We're up to down here too. It's called A Survival. Is it any good? Because I really would like that to be another film. I'd be quite keen for that one there. And I'm quite keen to see more on that one. But guys, if you are just joining us, we need to, oh my God, I'm getting to the heart. I'm going to have to come off in a second now. My brain is absolutely melting away here. So we'll give it a few more minutes. But yeah. If you are joining us, do make sure you're following, subscribed, whatever it is, wherever you are, because we are on pretty much every night. Clear skies, it's the UFO UAP Skywatch. And cloudy nights, we do this. It's the alien radio signal hunt, where we search what is the hydrogen line, the channel on the radio dial, where scientists theorise that if ET's out there, that's where they'd put the message hello. That's where the WOW signal's heard. This is a nice blue one.
Zoom mode activated.
We're zooming on this one. Apparently this blue can be caused by the solar panels on the new Starlink there, but it's a fantastic colour. We haven't seen much colour from the objects the last week or so, but we do get some absolutely... Oh my God, it's off the screen for you guys, sorry. We do get some absolutely fantastic coloration. Some greens, some oranges, some reds, and some blues are just like that. There we go. We'll get any more coming in. God, there's so many. I thought it'd be quieting down this part of the night, but no, it is absolutely alive. But yeah, So yeah, make sure I said you're following, subscribe, guys. I said it because we're always doing something every night, and you get those notifications when we go live there. Oh, A3 big deviation. Which one was that? I know it's a bit late now. A3. There would have been down here. Sorry, I'm a bit too late with the delay there, but good spotting. We may have seen it earlier as well, TF. So we're going to definitely review tonight's video and see if we can get some of the clips there, because it is that stopping dead, the shooting off at speed, changing course or trajectory that tells us for sure that it is something a little bit stranger than one of the many, many man-made objects up there. Very nice, very bright, but it isn't doing anything strange. And how you doing there, Peter, as well? Good to see you in. Where are you joining us from? And Sean there, I'm from Wicklow in Ireland there. We have watched the sky at night since I was 13 and have witnessed a white orb in the daytime. Been told my whole life that they're satellites and hard for people to wrap their head around. Bang on there. I've heard so much that Ireland is absolutely active. So Ireland, Scotland and Wales seem to be the most active there. And I can't decide if it's Ireland or Scotland is going to be the winner out of those. But very, very active. So it's interesting that you've had those experiences as well and that you actually pay attention to the night sky there. Yeah, everybody defaults to satellites, and then when you show them the evidence of the ones moving in ways that satellites just can't, then they don't want to talk anymore, because it breaks their belief structure of it's just a satellite. But it's the lazy way out. Look, statistically, most of these objects are going to be man-made satellites. There's just a hell of a lot of them up there, and until they do something strange, we can't say for sure otherwise. But we have to remember that before man-made satellites, these objects were seen much less often, but they were seen then, you know, and they were recorded before man had satellites up there. So what is the excuse, the explanation for those ones there as well? And we also need to remember as well, keep in mind that although we're looking for that deviation there, we're looking for the stopping dead, the shooting off speed, changing their course or trajectory. Even if we don't see it, it doesn't mean it's not anomalous there, because most of the time ET, as they're flying around up there, they are going to be moving from A to B in a straight line. They're going to be in an orbit. There's not much for them to avoid up there. So a straight line at consistent speed is how they're going to, look most of the time. We are waiting for that rare case where ET realizes he's left the gas on at home and has to do an interstellar handbrake turn right over the camera. So again, it won't even be all of the time there, but we just can't say for sure until we see that anomalous movement there. And Sam Neill, great actor there in the Mouth of Madness also. Oh, I haven't seen that one either. C1, Living a Light. That one's up there. Oh, sorry. There's a bit of delay for the tubes going to and fro. But you want Amanda as well. So is it going through this way? Oh, it's this one.
Zoom mode activated.
See, this one hasn't been picked up on the tracker, but it should be bright enough for it. That bloody twinkling is doing us in. It was much better the other night there. And Nathan there, what have I missed? Anything exciting? Actually, there have been a couple that I haven't seen, but you guys in the chat have said that have done the U-turn, have done the anomalous movement. So we're going to have to watch the video back to see those ones. So maybe, Nathan. Going back to very old paintings that show UFOs in them. Famous painters have even had them in. Oh, bang on. Living like good spot in there. But yeah, so over the years, yeah, like there have been throughout history, there does seem to have been the same phenomena observed and going on. You know, you look back to the religious texts, you take away the interpretation, the human interpretation of what's going on, go back to the raw sightings, folklore, again, older paintings and things like this. There, it seems to have been, whatever it is we're experiencing now, seems to have been going on the whole damn time. And Sumerian depictions as well. Again, their stories aren't actually that far away from other cultures. And Amanda, good spot in there. And what if the human race are visitors, crashed on Earth many years ago, and the situation forced us to start our evolution again with the resources available on Earth? Could well be. I mean, some people have theorized, evacuees from Mars. We now know that Mars was Earth-like. And that was about 2 billion years before Earth got habitable. It looks like there's life, at least simple life on Mars currently. Maybe it had more complex. Maybe we're seeing evidence of structures in those scans. So maybe when they lost their atmosphere for whatever reason it was, maybe they came to Earth and then have slightly modified something existing or whatever it was, passed their genes on down there. There are a few little clues with our biology that does point to something maybe not being fully evolutionary suited for the Earth. You can make that case. What's that one? I can't What's that one there, Nathan? That all C4 down the bottom there. So that'll be that one, another untracked one. Before as well, not being detected. Maybe it's too slow for the detection then. I know that the twinkling, I've had to turn the sensitivity right the way down because the twinkling that we're getting, basically all this atmospheric jiggling, is giving us lots of false positives. See, like just like that one shooting across there. It sees that jiggle and it goes, is it this moving? And so, yeah, the other night this was absolutely perfect, but it's not playing ball tonight so much. But it's just the atmosphere, you know, roll of the dice. It'll be clearer again soon, I think. No, I mean, we're looking for ourselves. I do think that what we're related. I'm not necessarily a big... It's possible, but I don't think by default there necessarily are going to be loads of independent versions of life out there. Abiogenesis, they call it, life starting from nothing. I think we're all going to be related in some which way. Universal common ancestor. Oh, nice, basically. Thank you, Nathan. Are we talking about the Kardashev scale? Not so much the Kardashev scale there, but more of the... I think just how life will probably transfer by panspermia. You know, the idea that, you know, planets can sneeze at the very least simple life onto each other, and maybe even outside of solar systems, maybe simple life can travel those vast distances. So maybe there is a universal common ancestor in a very simple form that's just spread around the universe, and we have all come from that point. I mean, you know, by a current understanding of life here on Earth, that's kind of how it acts. And again, until we know better, why not assume? The main reasons that we don't think that way is we didn't know that there were other planets out there. We didn't know that life can survive in these distances, but the more we're learning, the more life can survive for longer over vaster distances. You know, the fact that we haven't detected aliens is 99.9% a product of our limitations, our great limitations from technology and ability, rather than that there isn't any evidence out there to be collected and understood. More related, I think so. And there's always an original template that all life abides by. One problem with is that they have found out that Octi and Squid are not the same as us. Have they really? Because I know that the mainstream always likes to say, oh, you know, if you trace it far enough back, we can see where they diverged from us. But A, why does that divergent point have to be on this planet? And B, like, how confident are they in it? Because a lot of things like this are passed off publicly as this is what we know, but really it's this is what we think. This is our interpretation of the data, and there still are a lot of missing facts, and they're just drawing lines between some limited data that they've got there. But when they talk amongst themselves as scientists, they often do go, well, this is our current best theory and stuff like that, but it is not quite the same as 100% conclusive that they have studied it and got the evidence. And partly could be, and we could have been accidentally seeded on the planet there. There may be several branches of similar humans in the galaxy, well, which would explain the sightings that people have, those close encounters where they're seeing the beings. Now, whether they're the greys or these other types that are reported to be seen, they all are pretty humanoid. They are pretty, you know, legs, heads on shoulders, very, very similar. And look, convergent evolution is a thing, but it's rare, and it's rare that it's going to be exactly the bloody same. So I think there's got to be some sort of connection. Going to quickly bounce back over to the TikTok. Okay, I'll have a look. Where is it? Oh man, when it comes to technology. Oh, I'll take that one. Yeah. I'll call it brain melt from here on out. But like there. Oh, I don't know the Discord. Oh, yeah. It's still here there. As well. I'm back. Had to chase a spider around the room. Was it chasing you though, Carl? And Lord Eddie there, thank you for the follow. Where are you joining us from tonight? And that Greg's there. UFO. Oh, what's the translation on that one? Let's have a look. What UFO? Too far. So, well, we're looking out for them. You know, it's a hunt. We may have had some earlier. I didn't see them, but you bloody guys did. So yeah, we've got to look out for the ones that act strangely, that change speed, course, direction there. Scroll through there. And down here, what's going on around there as well? Where are we? Over on the where are we? Back to the TikTok. Oh, where did we get to? Sorry guys, jumping ahead. Where did we get to? Could have been accidentally seen on this planet, and there may be several branches of humanity in the galaxy, and that's much more a sensible and a likely answer. It could well be. You know, I think I like all the theories, and that doesn't mean I necessarily believe more this way or that way, but I find them all really, really interesting to explore. Honestly, though, the more I look, there are individual pieces of evidence, but it's all like adjacent evidence, or it's circumstantial, so nothing to really collapse anything down into any definites. If I had to bet the farm, you know, having any degree of confidence around any of them at this stage with the evidence that we've got, you know, I think it's really, really hard. But it doesn't mean that we can't open them up to kind of like explore them and go, oh, how does this hat look like for size there? And bipeds, yeah, there's something, I think there's something to that one, but again, it's only an indication at this stage, isn't it? Familiar with the Vegas aliens in the backyard? Oh yes, Sean, yeah, I've heard of those ones. And like the silhouette you can see on the image there. And Amanda there, oh, absolutely shattered. I will catch you later, Amanda. As always, good to have you in. And evolution will naturally branch off to find the best route to survive. And it could actually liken humanity to vines and weeds. Yeah, this is true. You know, evolution does do that. And there are plenty of cases of convergent evolution. I mean, how many times separate species have evolved into crabs is unreal. Apparently, that's the most effective way to exist, you know, when you're on the ocean floor. But they're so specific. They're so specific to us. I do lean that there may be more at play there. With a poker player there. They were at the strip club, Syntax. And I think it may have been true, as it was blanketed too quick. It always does make you suspicious, doesn't it? But again, there's a lot of these sightings that there's just so little information on them that we just can't say, or I can't say either way. So I put it as interesting. And then if there seems to be others that are very, very similar to it, then that kind of adds the overall credibility to it there. And if so, our intergalactic ancestors would be physically different in some way because of the different environment they're in. Exactly. The difference is going to be, you know, based on their environment. What I find really interesting is we often talk about whatever the apex species is going to be that might be visiting us, that the analog of us humans, you know, that's going to be technologically advanced enough to come and visit us if it is an extraterrestrial thing. But they're going to have their own version of insects, the flies that they swat, their own cats, their dogs. Their ecosystem, or biosystem I should say, is going to be just as diverse as us, because we are complex to all of the details that we have, you know, our fingers, our arms, you know, our fingernails, our fingerprints. The reason we are as complex as we are is because of the evolutionary pressures of survival. If we didn't have this diverse ecosystem to have to survive and navigate in, we wouldn't be this complex. We'd just be gelatinous blobs absorbing heat from the sun, and that would have been fine. But we've had to compete with other organisms, with other insects, with other species, with our own species as well. So what we can deduce is, if our understanding of evolution is anywhere near correct, if they're looking a lot like us, they would have had to have had that very similar experience too. So what does an alien cat look like? In fact, the US government, now how you doing, ads? US government regularly releases newly declassified documents regarding unidentified flying objects and officials, and who would have thought 10 years ago that'd be possible. The fact that they're taking it seriously in that public threat sense, you know, officially is, yeah, 10 years ago, I would have thought that would have been enough in itself. Just to go that, yeah, there's stuff out there that we don't know, that they're taking it pretty clearly. Yeah, they're taking it seriously. And silicon life exists even on our own planet. Silicon life? On our own planet? I mean, is that like a widely accepted thing, or is it a theorized thing? I need to hear about that there. Mostly in the US. What's silicon-based life? Unless you're talking about computers being, you know, an AI being sent in, maybe for that. I mean, silicon is one of the other mediums they think could support life. I'm a big fan of the plasma-based life there. It's real. What is it? What's the species then? I didn't know we knew of different ones, different based life forms. Some are still blobs, or some are. You know, and that's the thing of evolution. Just because some of the species advance doesn't mean it all gets wiped out unless the environment changes enough. Let's have a look over on here as well. Yes, we can click on the purple thing. That is Vega. That is a
Zoom mode
beautiful
activated.
star, about 26 light years from us here on Earth, burning much hotter, much brighter than our sun, and yeah, won't last as long. Very, very cool to see there as well. I think one of these is Deneb, I never remember which. I think it's that one, the bright one, or is it that one there? Oh no, it's Deneb's actually. Sorry, let me spin the camera slightly because that's the. Oh, you can set the tracker off. So. That's that's made it harder to see. Deneb is one of these. I think it's that one. It's Deneb there. And that's about 2,600 light years away, I think, there. And Ken Bob, thank you for the follow. Where are you joining us from tonight? Oh, on a very slow growth there. Silicon life exists, but over eons to evolve there. We won't ever see it. Oh, I need to know more on that one. That sounds absolutely fascinating, Tiff. Silicon is very good. It's very special. A completely natural thing, yeah? And I think I found a Mandela effect last night there, and I'll share it with you all there. Was it a bada boom, bada bing thing? Or was it a bada bing, bada boom? Oh. Bada boom, bada. You know what? I don't know there. I don't know. I think I've got one of them as well. And it's the Abyss, the storyline of the Abyss film. Adds as well, it seems strange that we have evolved massively in the last 100 years. And the guidance and the knowledge has come from somewhere. Well, just our technological evolution is ridiculous, isn't it? There, like I could totally see that as plausible. That you look at that exponential curve, and no subs. There is no such thing as a silicon life on Earth. There, it's all carbon-based life forms. So that's what I thought was the accepted version. I think there's a compelling case for a plasma-based life with the plasmoid, so there's not fully confirmed, but I think it's an interesting angle there. But the silicon, they have theorized that silicon life could exist, but I didn't know that there was anything people were putting forward as potential candidates. Very interesting. 100 years is oh my god, it's less than a blink of an eye. It's absolutely crazy, isn't it? You know, our timescales of how we conceive of things. And brilliant film, The Abyss. It really was. I spent years telling the missus about The Abyss and what a banging film it was, how great it is, and eventually, like a couple of months back, I managed to convince her to sit down. Well, I bought it because it wasn't available. And I thought, I've got to watch this. And I've been telling her about it. And I loved the film when I saw it, I don't know, 25 years ago or whatever it was. And I even watched the making of The Abyss. And my God, that was a shit show. That film was just as good as the actual film as well, the making of it. Brilliant. And so I've got all these memories about how they made certain scenes and did all these certain things. Clear as day in my head. Anyway, we're watching The Abyss. And we get towards the end of it. And I'm like, I don't remember any of this storyline. I remembered the sets perfectly. I remembered the characters perfectly, but it was a totally different storyline in my head. Now, for the cinema release, the theatrical release, and the home release, there are two different endings to The Abyss, and I thought I'd got that one wrong. All good spot in there on the track at the grid. That one's coming in now. Should we zoom in on that one? It was quite faint, but yeah. So I thought, oh, maybe I've got the other one, and I saw the other one, but no, it was a totally different film, totally different subject matter, and I had no memory of actually watching The Abyss. But apparently when I googled it, everybody confuses The Abyss with a film called The Sphere. But what had happened in my head was I knew all of the characters from The Abyss, I knew all the sets from The Abyss, but it was the storyline of the film The Sphere. And like, I can't get my head around that because I have no memory of the film The Sphere. I had no memory of the characters from the film The Sphere, and I had no memory of what the actual storyline was from The Abyss. So in my head, I'm like, no, something's gone wrong here. Somebody's changed something. And I was on one. I was like, no, this isn't real. I was running around the room like a madman going, no, something strange has gone wrong here. Apparently lots of people get it confused, but I'm like, I couldn't have not remembered that one, and not, weird, especially seeing the making of it as well, because I was looking for the certain scenes that they were talking about in the making of it and how difficult it was, and looking for them, and they didn't happen in the film. But I'm like, but I saw it in the making of. Apparently, does it Diet Tom's use silica constructed cell walls? Ooh, right. Can I copy and paste that one? Because I will forget that one. I need to look into this because that's interesting. Spare rib. 84 possible participants and not a one reply. Where'd it go? Where are we down there? And Phoenix, animals that use silicon to build shells and rigid skeletons and shells are glass sponges.
Radorians there and datums. Now that is Phoenix, very, very interesting. I suppose it's not quite in the way I was thinking of, but they're still using it in that sense. And it takes a long time now to put a proper paper to it there, but it does evolve there, and the scenarios they have computed show it does. So is it like, so sort of just again, because it's over a longer time scale, we're not noticing it, but what would we recognise it? Like if I was to go down the rabbit hole, TF, where would I start to look? Yeah, there are scientific papers that kind of prove plasma life forms. Yeah, we're right on the cusp now. We're right on the cusp, aren't we? I think of getting that one out there, which is mind-blowing because that's a totally separate medium. And got it all there. They banned the 4K version in the UK because of the rat in the... They did, yeah. They banned, which when I watched Close Encounters of the Third Kind and all of the animals in that, I'm like, wait a minute. You know, apparently they gassed the animals. They didn't actually harm them. They're the spherical show. It wasn't as good, but in my head, where I had the mashup of the two films, that was a brilliant film, guys. That's the film that they needed to make. The sphere, but with the sets and the characters from the Abyss. And adds there, we know about the moon, that we know more about the moon than the depths of the sea and Antarctic regions there, and undiscovered race. Could be right under our noses. There is lots of evidence that could point that way. Lots going on there. James Cameron wouldn't cut it out, and rightly so. I mean, the rat survived, apparently. All sorts of hats except the speeches. What's that? Over there. Where are we? Living rocks with intelligence, and how and what they would like. No one would have any ideas. Well, yeah, if it's so far from, and that's probably why the plasmoids, the plasma life, hasn't been recognised, because it's just so far away from us, you know, that we just don't recognise it. It's doing its thing, and we've just not clicked. Some more. Oh yeah, there's another faint one down there.
Zoom mode activated.
Just a faint one right there. Yeah, the plasma, you know, it's just been there the whole time, but doesn't compete with us for resources because it's so different. We just haven't recognised it there. Bad animal rights there. He's no empathy. And I love to hear you under the influence of cannabis. It will help sort out stuff banging around. Those days are well past me now, no subscribers now. This is I'm stuck like this. It's obviously the brain went and you know, we're stuck with it now. Right, where do we get over on the TikTok there? We got to Ken Box, didn't we there? Leicestershire, good to have you in there. And we're a big fan of Dr. Stephen Greer. Interesting chap, does a lot of good work, I think, for the phenomena. He's a bit of a... His personality is an interesting one, but I still think the work is interesting there. Have I even taken a drink tonight? Not as much as I should have, Kate. Tracker's lost the plot, I think. He's getting tired too. Anything interesting? Yeah, Damien, we did, or you guys in the chat, I didn't see it, so we'll have to check the recordings. Apparently there's a couple that may have done the 90-degree turns, which is slam dunk anomalous there. It's ever since he moved the camera. Yeah, there's something about this patch of sky is a little bit jazzy. Yeah, it really is, isn't it, going off now? Let me turn the sensitivity down a bit more. Why is that making it more sensitive? No, that's why, because I did it the wrong way. Maybe no, that's still too sensitive. Anyway. And what do you mean maybe? Two satellites going over each other's path to seem to cause... so yeah, that does happen. It was, again, this was all working quite well the other day, so I think it's something to do with the quality of the image now, something in the atmosphere that's making it harder for the tracker, because it was able to do the multiple path, but there are sometimes when they just get at that perfect time, and then it kind of follows and then goes and follows that one as well. Just better than we stop. Yeah, it's its own beast. It gets better and then goes away. Where are we over on the... the liquid oxygen thing is in fact used on the rat. It is, yeah. The liquid oxygen they used on the rat is real. That's why the rat survived, apparently. As well, should we get you on that UFO podcast? I mean, hey, I'll be up for anything, but I don't know what I've got to add to the mix. There's a lot of good creators out there now coming up with good, all the latest news and all that sort of stuff. I think what I could add to the conversation is probably very limited. Other than, I do think we do overlook, don't we? The psychological, the sociological, and the neurological components of the phenomena. So they I think are very, very overlooked areas. But I don't know if I've got enough to warrant that. Boom. Where are we down here? We've got a few. Yeah, we've got a few on the screen still. What are we? Oh my god, I've just noticed the time, guys. I was meant to come off for one. So, sorry, chaps. I am going to have to come off now. But I'll catch you later. Oh, Lethal as well. Catch you later there as well. Could be a little moisture on the lenses. You know what? Maybe, actually, Carl. Maybe. I'll check tonight because I have got the heater for it. That could be a good shout there. Thank you, Scoopy. Yeah, I don't know if it's of any value though, but hey, it's something to think about. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for hanging out with us and joining us tonight. Make sure you're following and subscribe to join us tomorrow night, which, let me just check, is it going to be a Skywatch, do we think? Wait a minute, it's going to be that day. By the looks of it, yeah, it's going to be another bloody Skywatch for us. So yeah, make sure you're following and subscribe, get those notifications when we go live, probably about 10:30, 10:45 UK time. But I want to see you all there. Thank you for hanging out, thank you for chatting, thank you for sharing your knowledge and your experiences with the phenomenon. I appreciate that. If you've been tapping away as well there and sharing, extra love, helping build up our little community. And thank you to the mods for keeping it all wonderful there and pressing all the grid buttons. Do appreciate you all there. And again, gifters, members, merch buyers and all that jazz, double the love there as well, because you're helping us improve the stream and what we're doing. Excuse me. So yeah, we'll see you all tomorrow night. Bye bye, guys.